We're
Okay,
live.
we can do better than that.
Yeah, go on.
I see on YouTube scraps. Listen, check it. Yo, who's that living in the beamer? F's on my feet, spending it's not feeler. If you saw my interior, you would think I got signed. Nah, baby girl, man, I'm
Just a drug dealer.
I'll be in the trap with some bricks of amnesia. Begging my connect, let me get the bricks cheaper.
Man like scraps.
Again.
2-man beef in a black 7-seater. 357 and a 9mm. There man getting sweep up with man creeper. My nigga shoot up fam, we don't beat up.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to Friday on Filthy at 5. I was just watching back yesterday's. I didn't catch it last night. I didn't love it.
No, it was a mess.
It was a mess. The first 15-20 minutes were an absolute howler. Luckily, and then Skits comes out and like hugs Poet, which because Poet had just come in, the rules had not been laid out properly. But yeah, there was social distancing the whole time yesterday, and that fucking pissed me off. Don't worry, guys. I'll tell Skits off when he comes in here today because I told him off yesterday. But you guys need to know as well. We are respecting social distancing. But by that same token, we have all been quarantined for 8 weeks now. We are well aware that based on the science available, none of us have the illness. We also traveled very safely.
Very safely.
But yeah, it's still not on. I'm not happy with Skits for that. I thought that was very childish. But the good news is we made some stuff yesterday that we're gonna drop on the channel. How did you think it went, Jordy?
I really enjoyed it, man. Arguing in person is much better. Much better.
It's funny because I've seen some clips of it already, and it is so what this show wants to be, but you can't control the audio the way that you can in like a live context. And when you got 4 people across different spaces in the room, social distancing, but still able to shout football arguments at each other, it's another level, man.
Have we had Specs? Has he retracted his statement yet?
No. Specs went in with the Adebayor and Crouch talk yesterday, which I think he started on one of the things we recorded, but we carried it over to this show. Today he sent me a voice note early in the morning, and he sent me about 6 cents saying that he wants the war now. He's not happy with losing arguments, and he says the monster is out of the pocket. So here we go.
I can't wait.
Good point about man like Makala. I will get ready to send this to Adam McCullough because he's going to come on and we're going to talk about Owen Hargreaves today.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Not for fuck's sake, McCullough, but for fuck's sake, Hargreaves.
Yeah, but we touched on it briefly in person yesterday. I felt like I got an overwhelmingly negative response when it wasn't warranted yesterday. That day before yesterday.
What do you mean? Oh, no, the day before yesterday, absolutely. Absolutely. You did.
And I'm hoping we can rectify that a bit.
I was completely wrong. I never said he's shit. The only thing I said wrong was Carrick over Hargreaves that season. That was wrong.
Yeah. I also think overall, I think Hargreaves ahead of Carrick. But we will save that. We'll part that until McCullough's here. I want Joe Walker in here as well because he's a big England fan, and he can represent the England side of the argument because he says that Hargreaves was England's best player in 2006. In 2006, I guess so. No, World Cup.
World Cup.
Yeah.
Wait, what World Cup was that for England? USA. Robert Green.
No, that's 2010. Nah, 2006 is in Germany. Sven-Goran Eriksson, Theo Walcott. I don't remember who kicked them out though. Sweden? No, I think they played Sweden. Or was that? I don't know, man. I should stop guessing.
Yeah.
Portugal. Wait, Ronaldo Wink.
I thought that was the Euros.
Thank you, J. Mitch 93. I thought that was the Euros as well. Maybe it was the World Cup. I feel like Portugal was twice, no? 04 and 06.
Sounds about right. I was just watching Netherlands Spain. The one where United thought they got a tactical genius in Van Gaal.
Yeah. That was I liked that game. I just moved into a flat that day, and I had just furniture all over the place and everything in boxes. I set the TV up, watched that game.
You know what's funny? I remember that day too because I could have put anything on it that Spain would have smashed them.
Yes, that was what I expected, but that Spain team just wasn't. I don't know what it was. Didn't click.
Past it.
We're waiting for them to click again. I think. Expectation was that it might have happened this Euros.
Do we think that? Why?
Because they still had a strong defense that was it was their last tournament, but that's still a world-class defense. Yeah, it's true because the midfield ain't what the midfield was. I guess it's the Atletico guys, Koke. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at the odds a couple of weeks ago, and they actually had high odds. Good odds.
Who would they put up top? Still Costa?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a better choice.
I mean, I can think Alcacer lost it, didn't he?
He's shit. Alcacer's just shit. He's not shit. He's a sub. No, Iago Aspas, that would be a howler. Morata would be a howler. Rodrigo, he was scoring, wasn't he? Or was that last year?
Couldn't tell you. We don't watch La Liga.
One thing I wanted to say before we get into all mad debates and conversations, right? Marcus Rashford announced that he was working with Fair Share, the charity, to deliver food to hungry kids and families or whatever. He did that long before the lockdown and before Corona. He did a video announcing it, and I made fun of it at the time because I just thought it was the most wooden announcement in the world. And it was a time when Rashford kind of turning his image around because Man United fans had been onto him. The form started to pick up. Here's a big charity initiative. I just want to say that it seems to be doing incredible stuff. He said we're supplying 2.8 million meals a week for vulnerable people across the UK, meals they wouldn't otherwise have. And yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, for a fan, that's at fairshare.org.uk. I just wanted to say I think that's amazing, and I think as much as a lot of this is PR for a lot of players, the actions, it doesn't really matter what the intentions are because the actions are right there to see. Yeah,
some PR is good PR.
Yeah.
Like, the intentions don't matter.
Yeah. So, no, I'll make fun of his announcement. And I'm not apologizing for the announcement. I'll make fun of it all day. I'm just saying I want to highlight that what he's done is great. And there's not a lot of good news stories. I just think that's amazing.
Facts, man. Big up Rashford. I'm sure he watches. I'm sure he watches.
100%. He also reads a lot of books.
Makes one of us, boy.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of news.
Are we allowed to talk about what happened yesterday, or do we have to keep it a secret?
Can
I gloat or not?
No, I wouldn't gloat. No.
Okay.
No. Well, that's the bit I would keep secret.
Okay.
That's the bit I would keep secret.
But now we need to anyway, because
if I want to gloat, I'll gloat. Because I could fucking gloat after yesterday.
Oh my god!
Shout out everybody who is in the live today. Basically, you know what we did? We took this show and we did it in the studio. We gave it a little bit of formatting, and we did it in the studio. And Greg and Felix, well, it's Felix who's editing it. this is his kind of shit. Like he'll turn it into he'll weave it into gold. It's going to be fucking funny.
Oh man.
Bro, I'm going to send these links out to Makala. And
did you see what's that guy's name, man? Joey Barton.
Yeah. What was he thinking?
Joey Barton. He spoke over. Put it that way.
You're roboting a bit there. But who did he at? He added
Murray and Deeney.
Do you think Joe? Imagine fucking Joey Barton winning it with fucking Troy Deeney. Joey Barton strikes me as being a proper little pussy.
Hold on, I'm coming off this mic.
Joey Barton said, right? Glenn Murray and Troy Deeney are in a relegation scrap. If they don't want to play, I understand it. Don't play then. Stay at home. There will be a lot of young players at Brighton/Watford desperate for an opportunity and who will fight to save their respective clubs. Do you know what I love about that?
Go on.
He's saying all the top soldiers who don't want to go over the top into the war and get head tops, don't worry, we can send the kids in to die.
The babies.
And one thing that I wanted to bring up, right? Von Miller, who plays for the Denver Broncos, NFL player, he got corona right at the beginning of this whole pandemic. He didn't announce it, but he got it. He said that after he recovered, he said he wanted to wait 17 days to start training again because he wanted to be safe. He said he said underlying conditions. He said he had mild asthma, but he said he gave it 17 days. He's still not back to full fitness. He says his lungs, the muscles in his body are not getting enough oxygen from his blood. His lungs are not operating properly. He is still not back to full fitness.
You got to think of Dybala as well.
The thing we're talking about here with like people dying and everything, that's mad. That's mad. But we've all been in this long enough to know that death for under 40-year-olds is unlikely based on the numbers that we've seen. Lasting impact on the lungs and on the body of a corona infection, we actually don't know that yet.
And you don't want to be the first to find out.
Who wants to, like Von Miller's saying, like, my body still can't do it. If Troy Deeney's going, well, I've got to feed my kids. Granted, Troy Deeney's doing very well for himself. If Troy Deeney's going, I want to feed my kids for the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going, well, if I catch the corona now, and I'm not going to get my next contract because my body's fucked up. Why the fuck am I playing? What am I getting out of this?
Oh yeah. Well, we know what it is. We know what this is, and I keep saying that this is wrong.
It's getting to the Bundesliga is back tomorrow. I put it in the comments earlier. I put it on Twitter. We are going to be watching along with it. 2:30, Schalke versus Dortmund. Specs is going to argue with Miles about something at halftime. Specs reckons that Miles has skated through this show without having to actually argue with anyone and just play cheerleader, which I'm not even going to disagree with.
No, that's true.
But he's called him out. He's called him out in the group. Miles can't make the live properly today, so tomorrow, halftime, you're going to see Miles versus Specs in some sort of debate.
It's going to be a shit show.
I'm going to bring someone else who never wants to debate with me because he knows he can't win. Everybody, this is the legendary Joe Walker.
Oh, Christ. All right, gents, how are you doing?
Now, Joe supports Crystal Palace.
I do. I definitely do.
He's been a part of years and years and years of filthy arguments.
Yeah, the good bits.
And more important than being a Crystal Palace fan, He is an England fan.
Yep, I'm currently wearing. These are England headphones that you get when you subscribe to the England Travellers Club. You get them for free.
Fuck
They are
off.
terrible, but they are doing the job right now.
Fuck off.
Talk to
Joe-
me about being an England fan.
What's wrong with being an England fan?
No, talk to me about it. How's that journey gone?
It's miserable. It's completely miserable. I've always but I support Palace, so that's also miserable. I know I think a lot of lower league football fans buy into England because that's their. If you support Mansfield, that's your way of going to away games abroad and seeing a better chance of success. Palace is just a little bit higher than that, but I don't have expectations for England. Certainly not now. But in the last couple of years, I've started going more than ever, and I'm all in on Gareth's boys. I'm bring it on.
Where you went to Russia?
Yep, I went
for
to the
World Cup.
semi-final.
And you also went to the 3rd and 4th place playoff. Am I right in that?
Yeah, the not of the World Cup, the Nations League last summer. You could book in advance. You could, if you had the points, you could get a ticket for whatever games England got to. So I got a ticket for whatever game England got to in the Nations League, and they lost the semi-final. So instead of me having a ticket for the final, which would have been in Porto and would have banged, I instead went to England versus Switzerland in this countryside stadium with like 12,000 fans. And I was already there. I'd already flew out and everything. I just thought, fuck it. So I just made a weekend of it. Portugal, lovely place. Lovely place.
What's better, watching England or Palace?
I'll always love Palace over everything. England's different because it's just, again, I don't travel abroad with Palace or anything like that. And I've been using England as that vehicle. England at home, England at Wembley is terrible. Like, it's very difficult. That's not fun, but it's necessity to go and see. I need excuses to go to Russia and Portugal and them places there, and Kosovo and them. That's where I'm going next.
Now you're a Brexit guy, like, as we've established,
Right,
and a Palace fan. Specs had a howler yesterday, and he said that Adebayor wasn't as good as Peter Crouch. Now you had Adebayor for what, 6 months?
Yeah, that was bad.
You never had Crouch, but you're an England fan, so you know Crouch well. How do you rate that howler?
He said Adebayor is better than Crouch, full stop. That was just...
No, he said Crouch is better than Adebayor.
Oh. No, so see, I think both players playing at their peak of their powers, Adebayor's best version is better than Crouch's best. However, like, Crouch is so effective if you use him properly. And in those moments, he was like a problem of a player, but he's never ever been a 20-25 goal threat player ever. And Adebayor had his moments where he was definitely not Palace.
No, but I remember once being at Crystal Palace at their training ground. I've told you this story before, and we were there to film with Yohan Cabaye, who is he's a good lad. I think he. At that point, he just left his wife, and
do you know that?
No, that came out after the fact.
Okay.
But anyway, where we were, Adebayor was next to us, and he was doing an interview with a Chinese media, right? Some Chinese media company. I'm not even going to do what he did because it's too bad. The Chinese media did the full interview. He said, "Okay, now can I get you to say hello to the Chinese audience in Chinese?" And Adebayor shouts some noise that he thinks sounds Chinese, and he's like this excited face, and the Chinese man goes, "What was that?" And he goes, "I was me speaking Chinese." He said, "No, that's not Chinese." And he went, "Oh well." It was, I don't know, because he did it with such a smile on his face.
That would have been because weirdly, the 6 months he was there at Palace was the 6 months that's when we got to the FA Cup final.
It was.
And he had nothing, I'll tell you, he had nothing to do with that. That was despite him. Let me tell you.
That was the busiest I've ever seen Crystal Palace's training grounds.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
100%. By the way, the comments are having a go at my football fan. So this is my childhood bedroom. So I've had that since I was about 6 or 7 years old. I've lived in this room like 25 years. It's rough.
I've killed him for that fan for many years, guys.
But,
you are not new to this.
It's so handy, and somehow I can't get rid of it. I don't care.
Where are you? Where's Palace in the table?
11th or something.
They're actually safe, like fully safe.
Yeah, Palace weren't bad.
Earlier than normal. Palace are only ever good in half of a season. It's normally the second half, and then the best players in that thing go, or the manager leaves, and you just have to restart again. I don't know what happens now with this team because there's no money left in it, no value. I mean, well, bar the obvious, there's in terms of all the best players are 31, 32.
Apart from Van Aanholt.
Who's
Van
29.
Aanholt, Zaha, yeah.
We've got apparently we're getting this West Brom right back. Sorry, he's the Wan-Bissaka replacement. Who's meant to be good, but I've never seen him.
A year after Wan-Bissaka goes to Man United for 50 million,
we sold
Crystal
him.
Palace have found a right back at West Brom.
We got 50 million 12 months ago, and that's 2 windows, and we didn't get a right back. Didn't get one.
It was all based on fucking Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, and that didn't come off.
Oh shit! Yeah, I missed Jason Punchin.
Yeah, he's in Cyprus, right?
He's in Cyprus, just living his best life. Him and Bakary Sacco, just an hour's drive from Ayia Napa.
Be honest, Bakary Sacco was a cunt.
Why?
Because he forced his move out, no?
Sacco?
Yeah.
Wait,
Sacco.
the Wolves one?
Yes.
Did he?
Was he not a cunt story, no?
He was shit, wasn't he?
He didn't. He thought I think he might have went on strike at Wolves for a bit, possibly. But at Palace, he just wasn't. It petered out. It fizzled out a bit.
Didn't he have 2 stints at Palace?
Yeah, this is Palace. So for the last 3 years, we blew a load of money on staying up one January, and we haven't spent a penny since because we spent like 80 million in one window, and we're still we don't sell any players. So we've been like on a budget ever since, and we released Bakary Sacco because we're like, he's not. Yeah, we don't need him no more. We'll buy someone else. And then the end of the window came, and we're like, all right, Bakary, what are you up to? Because we're not signing anybody. That's Palace.
But your manager's not allowed out his house.
No, he's not. I'm really scared because I've been scared for a while for him before COVID because he's 73, 72, and I'm sure he's a healthy guy, but like
he lives by the river. I read that. It was a really nice article about him. They said he's living by the river. He's watching Sunderland till I die.
Christ. This is the longest he's not been active. And I'm worried at his age whether that's a quick decline.
Stiffening up.
Yeah. And he's a good I love him to bits, but
he's a great man, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone here, Amin Abdi's mentions Max Meyer, as he says Meyer is a shambles. You've watched him now. I can't say I've watched Max Meyer play a full 90, or if he has played a full 90. How is he?
He's never done 90 for Palace. So the problem with Meyer, he's really small. Even though he got the end of his spell at Schalke, they turned him into this tough tackling holding midfielder, as well as what he was known for before, just to get him in a team. But he's very slight. And I remember a game they put him in against Burnley away, and he just got bullied. We still won the game, but he was like, he doesn't have the physique for it necessarily. He might have the desire, but he was really getting bullied. And Hodgson, for all the things I like about him, all the things that you hear about him at Liverpool and at England, and I don't know, one of the spells at Inter, that he doesn't change his mind on anything.
Right.
He'll make subs on the hour if he thinks the players are good enough. If he doesn't, he won't make a sub. And with Meyer, if he doesn't fit his system, just won't play him. It's as simple as that. I think Palace board signed him as like this marquee, like, wow, look who we got on a free transfer. But there's no way he's getting in front of, for Roy Hodgson, our midfield three is Milivojevic, MacArthur, Kouyaté, and he would rather have 3 bullies like that over 1, 2, and then 1 little creative guy. He just won't have it.
Cool. Listen, are you lot ready to talk about Connor Wickham?
Listen, I met Connor Wickham. I think he's a military brat, Connor Wickham.
Yeah, his parents are. Yeah.
I watched him play Arsenal for Ipswich in the League Cup semi-final years ago. I think he was like 17. He was a monster back then.
Okay.
He had an injury. He's been out for like 2 years, and he came.
I think it might be 3 years. You know.
Yeah, he came back this year, and I think from when we had no strikers scoring goals, and we still sent him out on loan. I don't know if that's just because he needs games. I think that might be there's a long road back there. Before he got injured, though, he scored the semi-final goal for us. He was effective. We got to like top 6 at Christmas with him as the starting striker, and then he got injured and we just fell away. And he's not really ever come back. He's not a bad player. He just never really had the run in the team.
I know a guy who's a City fan who I once was. I won't say where we were or why, but he was telling me that there are shit players in the Premier League, and he knows he could play in the Premier League because fucking Connor Wickham plays in the Premier League.
Right.
And then I think like 3 months after that, Connor Wickham scored the winner in a game against Manchester City.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite pieces of karma because that guy doesn't really know anything about football.
Who is that player now for you? For me, it's Carlos Sanchez. It's always been Carlos Sanchez.
Carlos Sanchez is so fucking shit.
I've seen him in the flesh maybe 4 or 5 times, and then seen him on the telly more than that.
Yeah.
He's never had a good 5 minutes. Never mind a good game. I don't get it. I do not get it.
Geordie, who's the worst player in the Premier League? Like established player.
Oh, established.
Yeah.
Nah,
not fucking Emiliano Martinez. Leave him alone.
No, you know what I'm gonna go for.
I don't know. It's gone out my head. Yeah, who are you gonna go for?
Dominic.
Oh, Dominic Solanke. Oh my god.
I don't even want to keep doing this.
He
has he scored in the league yet? Because I know he had one ruled out for VAR, but that's it, I think.
Not for Bournemouth, no.
Look, I know bad strikers when I see them. Yeah, I've had a long spell. Geordie will know at West Ham as well, but it's starting to look mad for him.
But then again, the comments are talking about Benteke here.
Yeah,
he's not the worst Premier League player ever.
No, but is he now though? Actually, Joe likes him. Joe likes him right now. Joe likes him.
I'm an apologist, so when we signed Benteke, he scored 16 goals in his first season, and that was Allardyce as manager with and he had Townsend and Zaha not taking anyone on. It would be like get wide, high looping crosses to the back post, and Benteke would just bundle it in. And he scored 15 goals that season. Not all of them were while Allardyce was there. He scored some before. Ever since then, Allardyce left. Hodgson has Townsend cutting inside, shooting. Zaha doesn't cross. Zaha runs to the byline and will either try and have a shot or cut it back. And the only player that's worked for was Glenn Murray because Glenn Murray's just very smart. Benteke doesn't get headers in the box. And anything else he's asked to do, he's not the player at Villa. He's had his Achilles problems. He's done a lot of injuries as well. He doesn't run very well anymore. So either play to his strengths or don't play him. And he's had long spells where he doesn't see the ball. And he's not the player he was. I'm hands up on that. But I think if you put him in Burnley's team now, I think he gets 10 goals at least.
Well, someone who has been compared to Christian Benteke and has never been compared to Paul Scholes is Harry Panera.
How dare you? All right, what's happening, lads? What's happening? You're right.
Well, everyone here's from South, yeah?
Yeah, B.
Trust me.
Come on, G. Whatever that is.
Oh, yeah. It just happened.
Harry, where do you stand on the Adebayor crash debate?
Is there even a debate, bro?
No.
That's such a weird one
It's
for him
so
to pull out.
weird. It's a disrespect to Adebayor. It's such a disrespect to him. But I think it's not Adebayor's fault that he's tall. So that's the only comparison that they have.
That's
Apart
it.
from that's it.
I
Can
think low-key...
Who started this? Who started this?
This is Specs.
Where is he?
I think low-key... He says he's nearly home. I think low-key Specs hates African players.
Yeah.
He does. I've told you this because he said he doesn't like Mane on the eye. He doesn't like cutting, none of that shit. He likes flair. You have to look Spanish. That's why he likes Wilshere.
I think what Specs does, he likes to shout a lot. So when he shouts, it's like he feels that that's his way of expressing the truth. When really and truly, it's just loud lies, really and truly, because there's no correlation to it at all. But yeah, I think he's got an agenda against Africans. He is one as well, which doesn't make no sense.
I can imagine Specs when England beat Jamaica 5-6-0, whatever it was, and Kraft scored a hat trick. I imagine Specs had the best day of his life that day.
It was
I would imagine it's connected to that, just so he could call on the Jamaicans.
It was Trinidad, and yes, I think everyone.
No. Trinidad was when Kraft
he climbed the dreads. Yeah. That moment though, I think if you're from the ends, you will never forget that day that Peter Crouch climbed up the dreads to score the goal. And one person I know knows a lot about climbing up dreads is Adam McCullough.
All I come in and heard was Peter Crouch climbing up dreads. What's going on?
Man, like AD and Adam, what's happening, mate?
What's happening, man? Is everyone good? What's lockdown saying?
By the way,
what's that, Harry?
I said I love the top, by the way, Adam.
Oh, nice one, man. The retro ones are the best, you know. All these new ones are United ones are a bit shit. Have you seen the new kit?
If that's what we're wearing, I'm not buying that kit.
Have you seen the zebra one? What the hell is going on there?
Bro, Adidas don't rate. Do you know what? Really and truly, all our sponsorships have been dead in terms of our kit. We've never really had good kits since like '99. If you ask me.
But if you see the Adidas ones from back in the day, like this one's based on and all that, the blue one, they're so good. Arsenal come in and got a retro Adidas one straight away, and we're still waiting, running around like zebras.
Arsenal need the sales more. Believe it or not, when Adidas took over Arsenal, they were expecting them to be in the Champions League. It was going to be all sexy. No need to think about the past. By the time they
look at that crap, man.
That might be a grower, though. You know.
Nah.
You don't reckon?
Nah.
Horrible.
The green one's okay. The green one's okay.
You don't have to do that much to a Man United kit.
Especially the color scheme. It's so simple.
See, red, black, white, 3 colors, simple.
It's like AC Milan, red and black, perfect. They just keep it simple.
Actually, I saw the Inter Milan away kit yesterday. That is a stinker. Inter Milan usually have great away kits. This next one is a stinker.
Because they had the green one last year, innit? The mint.
Yeah. Cold.
That was nice.
Cold.
That was nice. That was nice. They should have won the league in that.
Adam, how are you feeling about Manchester United in the COVID window?
You know what? It's kind of messed it up for us. We were going to slap Spurs. And now it's like they've been in the park with Jose running around and like United have, I don't know, like it's weird, isn't it? Because remember when you used to go back to school and you used to write after 6 weeks holidays and your hand used to hurt and that, or you used to forget how to write. You used to think, what's going on?
You put the wrong date, the wrong year. You put the wrong year.
Someone forgot how to play football, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. So I don't know. You don't know what to expect. It's kind of like a new season all over again, isn't it? But Pogba and Rashford back's good.
What do you think, Adam, about writing off the season? Because I've got that problem, and I think that the way we ended the season before the corona, we was on fire. I think Bruno was stepping into his.
We were going to win the league, I reckon.
So yeah. We're going to.
Adam, it was a rival account to yours that tweeted that if you had Fernandes from the beginning of the season, you'd be 30 points better off and challenging for the title. I don't know how much credibility you give that account.
I don't know what account said that, but that is.
I think you can get.
You know what it is? You know Paul Pogba when he come in, he was doing what Bruno was doing. But because it was Paul Pogba, it was kind of like, well, it's Paul Pogba. We kind
He's
of
black, Adam. It's because he's black. That's what it
there's
is.
that as well. There's the whole black and French thing. But you look at Rashford, his treatment compared to, but even then, Rashford got it, you know, at the start of the season. So it is true. It is true. It's Brexit Britain, isn't it? What do you expect? But at the same time, like Bruno's quality, but how long is that level going to last? So unless he can keep up for a whole season, I don't want to get carried away yet. Like when Herrera come in, Herrera looked good.
Yeah, I miss
What
him.
happened?
Herrera.
Herrera
You don't miss him. You don't miss him.
You know what I miss?
No
about
one misses
Herrera,
him.
I love when players are not doing nothing on the pitch, but they point.
You're obsessed with pointing.
No, because look, do you remember when Flamini came back to Arsenal
Yes.
and he was just pointing bare? Like he would do a side tackle and start pointing. I love that.
Listen,
about Herrera.
he went to Palace. He went to Palace and did the same thing.
Yeah, right.
After Arsenal, he just went there and started pointing at stuff.
But he was a billionaire at that point, right?
No. This is a specs thing. He is nobody's billionaire.
He's not a billionaire.
No.
He's coming worth $1 billion, though. No.
He invested.
No.
He put some money in something that was meant to be worth, and I don't know if it ever happened.
That's me. I'm lying. I'm a billionaire.
Whenever you hear about Flamini investing in some alternative energy fuel thing, it's like a footballer that's so far away from what we understand of footballers doing, and he's wearing a suit going to board meetings and all this stuff. And we just think this guy's a billionaire. He's not. And look, unless he's a billionaire, he's not a billionaire.
But Football Daily put him on a thumbnail saying he was a. Nah, they're joking.
Harry's going.
He was loving his life for Palace.
I can't joke with that. I can't joke.
Flamini played about 10 times for Palace, and I think one of them we were 3-0 up against Arsenal, and they just brought him on to like run around and essentially like a thumbs like.
Oh yeah, because you won that game. All right, one person who is probably Matthew Flamini's biggest supporter is Big Drapo.
Yeah.
Hey!
Adam McCullough, they're on Copper 90. Snake.
Yeah. COVID-19.
COVID-19 is back. What's happening, Paul?
Well done, everyone.
There.
Look at the snakes then with their trim. I don't know. I'll refer to you as anti-snakes after 15 minutes, but as of now, because you sold your soul, I'll kill you for 15 minutes. It's only right.
The homemade trims coming through.
They're homemade trims, yeah.
Say, boy, if you lot went to the barbers for that, boy,
You wasted your money.
No, I ain't even touched the back. It's just the front.
Yeah, you don't want to see the back. Get what you pay for.
Copper 90 and your performance there. So, but we're gonna move on from that now. I'm done killing you lot.
Are they still around, by the way? Sorry, we shouldn't get into the politics of all that. I don't know what's going on.
Politics of that, but we have to kill Adam McCullough and
Joe Walker.
Joe Walker. We're done now.
Bro, I gotta take work, bro. When I got cancelled out here, no one jumped off with me.
I agree.
No one jumped off that boat with me. So, yo.
Wait,
no matter what you say,
Why me?
I'm not even on there, bro.
You made an appearance on COVID-19.
Yeah,
you did.
I sat on a thing that never got commissioned again. Yeah, great.
I jumped down and they locked off the comments because everyone was saying, "Where's Paul?"
Yeah, that was a good era. That was a good era of content, man.
My guy, you know
when they turned the lights off.
I remember when they emailed me about some Man United stuff. They tried to entice me, and I said, I have no intentions of working with you lot ever.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
I don't want this woman.
We're not doing this.
What I want to know is when's the Women's Super League coming back, man?
Harry, you know what, Adam? I'm just. You'll be back in a minute. You'll be back in a minute.
Oh my days! It is crazy out here.
I got time now.
I think
Adam McCullough. Adebayor or Crouch?
Ooh.
Adebayor just for that celebration.
And the superior football ability.
Yeah, he was a lot better as well. Adebayor had a touch. Peter Crouch, if he wasn't tall, he wouldn't have been anything really.
I disagree with that.
He couldn't head the ball for like the first 5 years of his career.
Exactly. Specs doesn't know that though.
It was a big
He
decoy.
scored a banging goal for Stoke though. Do you lot remember that one?
The
He's only
The one
one.
that Adebayor did first.
And he
Was
was
that from the corner line?
it was a mad area. I don't know where he
From a
shot.
throw in, where it's
But also,
about
remember
miles out of the box.
bicycle kicks that he used to do.
Listen, we watched footage. We watched like a highlight reel of the 07-08 season yesterday in the studio. There were so many overhead kicks, and they were all very dangerous. I don't think you should do overhead kicks.
Why?
But they're always like next to people's faces, and people are pulling their faces out of the way. Like you can't do that.
No, you can't ban overhead kicks.
No, I think you can. I think you have to.
No, what is going on?
Every overhead kick, 9 out of 10 overhead kicks, the defender knows they're doing an overhead kick, and then you make the choice: am I gonna let him do it, or do I throw my head in and try and get a foul
kicked in the face? That's
But ain't that the worst thing about football? When someone's kicking the ball and someone puts their head down and a free kick gets given.
Yeah, they
Like,
know
when
they
they
were
go
going
down
down
like
they were
that.
going for. Yeah,
I don't think that's the worst thing about football. No.
Remember when who was it? Who kicked John Terry in his face like that?
Yeah, so was it
Diaby.
Abu Diaby, come on.
That was a disgusting one.
Beautiful.
Again, 07-08, you watch Abu Diaby.
Baller.
Mental.
By the way, it's what's it? 16 years to this day, Arsenal.
I'm sorry. Let's work with them again. But taking the L out of the name is the biggest L I've ever seen from my club now.
Oh, they did it. They did it before. They've done it before. Like, it's so dead.
It's terrible.
So tomorrow they're gonna put the L's back.
Where they belong to. My club, man. What a mess. What a mess.
That cough there, Poet, that wasn't a COVID cough, no.
I can't actually tell you what
Skits
cough
shook your hand.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Joe. one second, Joe.
All right.
Adam.
Yo.
What these pricks been saying about me?
Bro.
These three.
Around us. No,
I just arrived, no comment.
They've got a vendetta on me.
Why?
Because
you said Crouch is better than Adebayor.
Well, first of all, Adam said, I heard Adam say touch. Are you telling me Crouch never had a touch?
Yeah, but look how much of him there was. Like, you're going to have that in it. But really and truly, if he wasn't tall, I don't think he has anything else. He was proper awkward and stuff. He never had pace. He could finish, yes. But without that height, I don't think he stands out on a football pitch. And he gets scouted and he becomes Peter Crouch.
That's disrespectful, man. Surely.
It's not surely.
He's still a Premier League player, so
he wasn't that bad. He was
good. He was a good player.
His record for England is quite high. Is quite high up in it in terms of goals for games and stuff like that.
Basically 1 and 2. He's got like 20.
But I think that's because he scored like 12 against, was it Jamaica at Old Trafford?
It counts.
I once went to a game, at the Hawthorns, and it was Jamaica against India. Imagine that at the Hawthorns. What kind of madness?
That's a classic match.
It was 1-1 as well. we got a point.
That England game against Jamaica, though, that
was a terrible game.
What was the score?
Was that 6-0 or something?
6-0, yeah, 6-0.
But
India?
the best bit,
no, England. It was 1-1 when Jamaica played India. I'm gonna Google this right now.
1-1. Wow.
The crowd.
When England played Jamaica at Old Trafford, the Jamaican national anthem was sung by Jimmy Cliff. It was the hardest thing. There's a video on YouTube, and you got Beckham going like, "That was hard."
Like, Poet, what's the Jamaican national anthem?
You think I know? I don't even know how old my parents are.
I did watch videos yesterday, and it's a hard debate because obviously Adebayor had that season.
Crouch was more consistent for longer, but I just thought Adebayor was at his peak was much better.
And also, Adebayor had that season at Arsenal. He had that season at City. Because don't forget, that's the first season at City was goals.
Peter Crouch did get Spurs to the Champions League though for the first proper time, innit?
got them knocked out as well when he got sent off against Real Madrid.
Ooh.
They
Hey,
probably would have
boys,
done like that anyway.
Yeah,
Ego,
they
that was mad.
nah, they would have done anyway. They would have got knocked out anyway. Yeah.
you know who I remembered? Yeah, had a UEFA Champions League mode today. Chris Kirkland.
Yeah.
Didn't he
You
play
know,
for
he-
Coventry? Wigan.
Yeah.
He tried to give that medal back, I
He
think.
tried to give it back. Yeah, Ryan Brewster ain't trying to give it back, but
Right,
Kirkland tried to give it back.
Why?
He didn't deserve it.
He knew he didn't deserve it.
No.
He said he was.
didn't deserve it. He didn't care.
Back then, I think now the Champions League just give you like, here's 20 medals, give them out how you want.
Yeah.
Whereas I think back then, if you played, you got one, and he might have played in the group game, but he was like, no, this ain't. I don't want it.
No, back in the day, man.
Nah, fuck that. I'm
if you
taking
was
that.
there, you got a medal. Whoever was there on the day got the medal. If you played round 16, you didn't get no medal. It's who turned up on the day, Sunday League style. Then the technicalities came in on all this other bollocks. I don't know what it is now.
Then you could get special dispensation and all that. You could request medals and do all this and
Now
that.
these days you can. Basically, what happened when Chelsea started winning stuff, like directors and Roman and whatever, they wanted to give medals to all these people behind the scenes. So they
Kenyon took
petitioned.
one, I remember that. Kenyon
Yeah, it was
took
Peter Kenyon. Yeah, so they
Kenyon's a
petitioned.
pagan.
They petitioned to have just 50 medals. Give us the medals and we'll hand them out. So now it's like there's like billionaire investors who you've never seen in your life that have got Premier League medals.
Do you remember the time though where if the team that was winning the league would chop man in, like so they could pick up appearances to get a medal,
Yeah.
and he's had to force it in. And
And appearances for a medal.
I remember like Keown at one Arsenal season, he was like on the touchline, like grabbing up Wenger, like, come on,
Yeah.
man, come on, I need one more.
That's an underrated part of Arsenal's undefeated season is that they had to force Keown on 10 times.
I never used to like Chris Kirkland for wearing hats.
It was always sunny on his side, didn't it?
Somehow.
Do you know what though? He had. I remember when I swear he was a wonder kid at one stage, cuz.
yeah, Coventry, bro.
Was it
Probably
Coventry?
Robbie Keane as well, and he went to he went from Wolves to Inter. Was it Wolves to Inter?
And then
Yeah.
it's Leeds.
That was big.
No, Kirkland wasn't a wonder kid. He wasn't.
He slightly was though, because he signed for Liverpool the same day as Jersey Dudek, and he signed for more than Dudek.
Yeah, but that was extortion English. I don't think he was a wonder kid. That's terrible. That's terrible. I don't know if he was a wonder kid. Not wonder.
But yeah,
Kid.
No, I don't know if there is a wonder kid goalkeeper. Donnaruma's probably the only one I've ever
Joe Hart
known,
was.
really.
Yeah.
Joe Hart was.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
Buffon was as well at Parma.
Who?
Buffon, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Parma. He because he came through. Everyone knew like Channel 4 days. He was the guy
The
to be the
man.
next goalkeeper.
There was
Yeah,
another.
yeah.
There was another wonder
What
kid.
happened to
Alex Manninger.
Alex Manning.
No, he was not a wonder kid. I think he signed for Arsenal at 26.
Arsenal was a wonder kid.
Wait, is that who you turned up with Senderos and got slapped 6-1 with Meninger and Senderos and them, man? Was it?
No, Manninger didn't play with Senderos.
oh, that was the Latvian. What was the Latvian's name?
Stefanos.
Who?
Stepanov.
Mark Poom, bro. Derby Carrick. Who said that?
Yeah, because people always bring up Mark Poop. He never played a minute for Arsenal. It's always Geordie brings up. He was actually a goalkeeping coach. He was like a reserve
Hold on,
goalkeeper.
he went to Arsenal.
Yeah,
You can't,
I remember from Derby, you found one chap and them.
yeah,
you
Estonian.
can't be called Mark Poom. You can't be called Mark Poom and think I'm not going to mention you.
He was a goalkeeper. Was Richard Wright a kid goalkeeper?
Richard
Who?
Wright was one of the kid.
Oh yeah, he was a wonder kid. Yeah.
Yep,
What
wonder
did
kid.
you pay for him?
Yeah, Richard
What?
Wright.
What did
What
Arsenal
What
pay
happened
for
to
him?
Arsenal paid, I want to say, £5 million for Richard Wright.
Is that it?
Yeah, but that was a lot back then.
That was bread, innit? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
bread.
Where did he come from? Everton.
Ipswich.
Ipswich. Use like that Franny Jeffers from Everton, innit?
Yeah.
he was coming through on flames, and then I don't know what happened to him.
You lot have think.
No,
You
you
guys
really
think.
got to understand level.
Don't say you. What about
Huh?
Alan Smith? You lot have had
Alan-
stinkers as well.
Alan Smith scored great goals, though. But remember,
You
if you
lot-
remember,
That was a howler. That was a howler.
John Arne Riise, though.
Huh?
You can't forget what happened to his leg. You can't just cuss him.
That's not a
You're
stinker.
playing DM.
DM.
Yeah, that was a stinker.
Playing
You
in
signed,
DM.
you signed a striker.
I turned him into Roy King because he was angry.
You shamacked him.
I read an interview with him, and he said, yeah, after that injury, his leg was mangled, so he couldn't run about, and they just like, oh, as long as if I've still got a career in midfield, I'll be a midfielder then. But he wasn't even that great in midfield.
No,
because when he left United, didn't he dropped like Newcastle and then
MK
Milton
Dons. Yeah.
no, Notts County.
Yeah.
Oh, that's peak. And he was that little Leeds team was all right as well. But oh well, Alan Smith.
No, it wasn't that good. This is what I'm saying about this Leeds team. It wasn't that good.
What?
Most overrated team in Premier League history, that Leeds team.
I don't know.
What's going on?
They did get to the semi-finals, Tigo.
Yep, cool.
And they
Happens.
did get top 4 one season.
All right, so let's go. The ages of those players. Who went on from that team? Apart from Bruno Fernandes, granted, that would carry most teams. Jonathan Woodgate, was he ever the player we thought he'd be?
No, but that's
Harry
that's
Kewell.
Let me stop you there, Tigo, because you're doing something to young players that I hate. You can't do that. At the time that everything went tits up, it's because of money. So if
Yeah,
the money,
but
hear me out. They had to sell all their young players. If they never had to sell them, who knows what they would have developed under? Who knows how they would have gone? But Leary busts out, money busts out, then Woodgate busts out. I'm flipping.
But their careers are their careers. We can judge their careers. Mark Viduka was a grown man by the time. What was he after he left? At that time, it was like
UEFA Cup finalist, bruv.
Yeah, Middlesbrough. I like that one. Well done. Him and Middlesbrough doing their thing.
Paul Robinson was a howler
at Spurs. But again, it's because they were forced to make moves very early on in their career.
Who was that fullback that scored the free kicks? Ian Hart.
Yeah, he went to Granada, I think. Levante, and then he went down to Carlisle. He played in League 2 for years.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, like, obviously, football's not just down to your ability, unfortunately.
Bro, how is it every single one of these players, apart from Bruno Fernandes, their careers went? If it's just about the money that was there.
Even David O'Leary
were unique. You can't be a shit team, get semi-finals, get top 4. There was potential there. If it had time to grow under David O'Leary, who knows? But the moment everything went tits up, it was so bad.
But like Adam says, what about David O'Leary though? David O'Leary was never good after that.
No, but Tigo, what did you expect?
Everything went tits. It was so bad.
Yeah, but David O'Leary was at Villa being shit, not at Leeds being shit.
Nah, I think it's somewhere in between, you know.
When the money went,
they were good for that moment in time.
I don't think they're the most overrated team in the Premier.
I think they're the most overrated.
But it's somewhere in the middle. They had their moment, but they're not the most overrated team. They were sick at that point. Like, even in Europe, they were doing well.
People was powered by racism.
Yeah. Imagine being a midfielder racist towards Asians playing in Leeds. That actually must be really difficult.
Everyone played the year that year.
Everyone in the comments saying Milner and Lennon, those guys were like children back then. Children.
Yeah, 16.
And they weren't part of that successful Leeds team.
No, they weren't. No.
But Tigo, this is what I don't understand is when you looked at that Leeds team, did you expect players like, Radaby, Woodgate, Boyer, Michael Bridges to move on and do bigger things?
I expected Kewell. I expected Smith. I expected Woodgate. I expected Ian Hart. I expected Danny Mills. I expected Lee Bowyer. I expected all these. Well, Danny Mills did have a decent. Danny Mills probably had the best career out of all those players.
What? He went to a World Cup with England, he did.
Yeah.
Harry Kewell's got a Champions League medal.
I didn't expect these guys to go and hit the heights, to be honest.
You didn't think Harry Kewell was going to hit the heights?
Maybe Harry Kewell.
Alan Smith.
Specs, look at it like this though, Specs. Leeds were good from 1998 when they signed Michael Bridges up until 2001. So their stint was only 3 years. And the amount of players they had to recycle because they were always doing better than they were expected. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, he went mad early to Chelsea, messed up all of their plans. And then
he went Atletico. He went
Atletico Madrid, so you're right. Messed up all of their plans. They had to go and find a new striker. They ended up buying like 4 strikers just to compensate for the goals that Jimmy Floyd didn't have. Michael Bridges, good first season, and then he got a mad injury. So like they had problems every single time things were getting better, unfortunately for them, and had to keep reinventing within like a 3-4 year period. So I don't think they were overrated. I think for that, they've done extremely well.
I think they were good. I think they were fine. I just think we mythologized that team because of how we felt about players in that time, like Kewell, like Woodgate, like Smith, like Viduka, like Bowyer.
Woodgate hampered by injury.
Yeah, all of them were. Every single one of these players was. Every single one of those players was.
Yeah, completely. So it's like, I just think if they were just nurtured better at Leeds United and it wasn't all about money, who knows what that side would have been? Because you take a look at the Man United side, class of 92, imagine they were making money, then by 95, all of them players had to go. The David Beckhams, who was at Preston on loan, he left and Scott. Who knows what they would have been?
You're asking me to accept so many coincidences. Go on,
Tigo, possibly, yeah. Tigo, Hargreaves was injured and you allowed him, so how come you not allow Woodgate?
I'm saying Hargreaves reached his potential and then his career was over. Woodgate never reached his potential.
I missed the Hargreaves chat. What was that about?
No, we'll get there. We're coming back with that.
I thought that's what I was coming in for today. I thought I was coming in today to defend on Hargreaves, but now I've got to go to let some actual real filthy fellas in. So people,
No.
Nice one, Joe.
all the best. That's all.
Come back here, man. Don't just leave like that.
Listen, at Leeds United, if you want me to accept that,
Oliver the Core,
Smith, Woodgate, Mills, Hart, and all these guys all just like were cursed because the money went, and they were. In fact, there was a case of them not actually just being good enough for the level that we thought they were.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the circumstances are so unique. I can't even judge them. It's unfair. You take a look at Nigel Martin in goal, Paul Robinson, the other guy. You had Gary Kelly at right back with Danny Mills, whoever they could find. You had Ian Hart at left back. You had Lucas Radebe and Woodgate centre backs. You had Oliver Decore and I think Bowyer in midfield, alongside Harry Kewell on the left, or maybe Lee Bowyer on the right. I can't remember who else was playing centre midfield. But then they had Viduka, Robbie Fowler at one point. Rio Ferdinand was at the back at one point. All of those players, I just think over another 2-3 years, they would have got it right. Because there's enough talent there to get you through doing Europe in order to get it right. I just think just when they were getting it right, all of a sudden it all
Paul, that's a decent Paul, the point, but it's true though. When you think about it, Paul, out of all the names you mentioned though, rough.
One player. One.
Because I don't think they moved at the right time, those specs. I think players when they moved.
But what was the excuse? No, I hear that. I hear you. But what was this?
I think when young players move at the wrong time, it's fucked.
I hear you.
But didn't all of them move within 24 months of Rio Ferdinand moving?
Yeah, the move soon because the money went.
Oh, the movements were happening all the time at Leeds United. They were worse than Arsenal at one point. Players were always moving. There was never a settled side. Never a settled side. I look at Kaka, for example. Obviously, he's an extreme example. I did not want Kaka to leave AC Milan. I didn't. He didn't want to leave. But Kaka was one of the best players ever. He goes Real Madrid. Bruv, I never saw that Kaka ever again. So imagine you've got like loads of players that just move at the wrong time. I just think it messes up everything. Everything.
Oh my God.
Tigo.
What other teams could you say that about?
Oh my, everyone shut up.
Oh shit.
Everyone shut up.
What?
I'm just gonna mate, I want to give this as grand an entrance as I possibly can.
No.
Shit.
How are we?
Back, you know.
What are we doing here? Ross.
Ross!
Boy, this is bullshit.
How are we?
I'm so happy.
This is bullshit. You see what Tigo's doing?
Right.
Making people to come in. Why are you here now? Why are you here now, Ross?
Beef with you.
Because of what I said.
Yeah.
Ross, we've just been arguing about whether or not. Well, I've been arguing that Leeds are the most overrated side in Premier League history. These guys all disagree. Who is, if it's not Leeds in the 2001-99 kind of period?
I don't know, like Leeds was a bit before my time, to be fair.
Which is
so I
fine.
on like 2002, 2003, but.
So who would you say is the most overrated team?
I don't know. The one thing I did think is like when Man City won the league under Pellegrini, that team I didn't think was all that. I think like they were just lucky in the sense there were just so many strikers at the club. Like they had like 5 strikers at the time, but I don't think that team was any decent. And I guess Leicester from a bitter point of view, but then obviously I'm going to say
Leicester was hard. Leicester was a hard team.
Nah,
you talk about a team. You talk about a team that reached its peak with young players, and then all those players went on to be good and better. That's Leicester. Leeds is a team that hit a point and just went straight down.
Yeah, but then it's because again, that's not fair because they won the Premier League, so they have reached their peak. So we can say move on from now. Leeds unfortunately didn't win anything.
So what is fair?
Trophy, who knows what it would have done to their mental? It's like we can't just look at football as ability. I think it's more than ability.
No, but that comes into being overrated. That comes into being overhyped. That comes into.
But that's like saying
conversation.
Ravel Morrison's the greatest player to come out of United. It ultimately never happened for him. You get me? So can't really make an excuse for them if they don't do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's like you could say that about West Ham's team before everyone left and achieved things elsewhere. If anything, they had a better team when they had Carrick and Rio.
Yeah, but you're leaving under circumstances which are calm. Like, you don't understand. If I had to go to your house right now, Adebayor, and force you out and say, go find somewhere to live right now and make sure it's good, it's a lot more difficult than you finding a nice way to navigate out your house and buy another house. These Leeds players were taken, unfortunately, under circumstances that they probably didn't foresee happening. And then you expect them to just adapt when they're young guys. Some men are struggling to adapt to fucking FilthyFellas. And you want these footballers to go from where they are to a new changing room, a new area, new people, and just adapt. Because that's hard, fam, especially all at one time.
That's fine, but that's excuses.
But what does them all moving at one time have to do for their individual circumstance?
Exactly.
You're talking about
why is Lucas Radebe or Ian Hart affected by Danny Mills moving to a different team?
All right, cool. I'll answer that. Look at your Manchester United in the class of '92. The fact they stay together for so long means that they build a rapport. There's so much things that come with it. That's how you become champions. Take a look at this Liverpool team. There's a couple of guys that have been there for time. So with Leeds United, there were so many chops and changes. For them to even do what they've done under so many changes, I can't say they're overrated. I think they've done extremely.
I don't think they're overrated, but I think
they're overrated.
I think at the same time you can't make an excuse for the whole team when they left as individuals
apart from
themselves.
One player.
No, but Adam, you don't know the circumstances they left. I don't even know.
No, but what you're saying is them lot never achieved their thing because they never stayed together. I hear that, but if they were so good as individuals, when you leave, you can't say, "Oh, I'm not going to do well when I leave now because Danny Mills left too."
Harry Kewell got a Champions League medal. Let's start with Harry Kewell. He got a Champions League medal. Would you say that's pretty good? Irrespective of how he may perform.
I think Harry Kewell had a decent career after.
Yep.
Not great.
Did he have a decent career out of it? Yeah.
Disagree.
You disagree. Tigo disagree. I said I don't know how we're going to judge it because a lot of them got medals afterwards.
Tigo, what do you want Harry Kewell to be?
Do you know who else? Do you know who else got a medal that day?
Who?
You do know because we just talked about him. Chris Kirkland.
Good guy.
Did Harry Kewell start?
Yeah. But he wasn't part of the Leeds team, so I don't know. But yeah, okay, he got a medal. That's good. I like it.
I'm just saying that Harry Kewell's Champions League medal means shit to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know how you're judging them. I'm just saying, for that group of players, I would want them to stay together, be nurtured, and then go away at the right time. Not like halfway through your rebuild situation. That's sad.
That's sad for the team, yeah. But the players were never as good as those results. The manager was never as good as those league positions or Champions League season. The team was overrated. It was way ahead.
That's where I disagree with you. I disagree with Paul on some of it, but you can't say they're overrated because they weren't overrated.
Yeah.
This is when did they get to the semi-finals?
They got to the semi-finals.
Do you know how many good teams were in Europe at that time for them to be overrated to get to the? I don't
Valencia side. I think they'd be
not overrated. That's mad.
Go on, Jody.
It sounds like you're saying they're overrated, not because of what they've done on the pitch, but because they didn't go on and do more.
I'm saying that the quality of the team was not as high as people make it out to be. And also the potential of the team was certifiably not as high as people made it out to be, because you actually look at it in retrospect and say, okay, where did it all go? And the answer is nowhere. So that makes them overrated.
Right, can I ask you one question then? Because the Leicester City side, I don't agree with that, but I think the Leicester City side, let's compare them. We got Mahrez, who's gone to Manchester City, doesn't start consistently, but is a good player, has got better, I do agree. You got Kante, he's been inconsistent forever now. So like no one even talks about him being
I disagree with that.
He is inconsistent though.
He won a Premier League as one of Chelsea's most important players. And he's been one of Chelsea's most important players for 2 years after.
Well, let's be honest, man. He doesn't even play centre midfield where he used to play. Like
there's been carry on, move on. I think that
he hasn't reached. I don't know what the hell he's doing. And then we can say who was beside him, the boy that flipping that Burnley now on loan. What's his name again? Drinkwater. What's he doing? Yeah. I don't know. Danny Simpson. I couldn't tell you where he is. Kasper Schmeichel's done all right.
Jamie Vardy's done all right.
I think there's an argument to say out of that Leicester City team, there's only 2 players today that can say are doing extremely well, and 1 player that's done well. Apart from that,
Okay.
I don't even know what the rest of them are.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you saying they're the most
could be an
overrated? Are
overrated
you
team.
saying that they're the most overrated team?
No, I'm not saying that they're overrated at all. I don't think they are. But if they,
So you're talking about a team of
how are Leicester City not overrated, but Leeds are?
I first of all, I've made no opinion on Leicester City in comparison, especially not in comparison to Leeds United. But I would say
Leicester City, and you said they're not overrated, and I said, yeah.
Wes Morgan and Robert Huth were both in their mid to late 30s, so straight away there's no potential from that point on. Jamie Vardy has gone on to fulfill potential and continues to fulfill potential, as does Mahrez.
Yeah,
you saying N'Golo Kante has it? I think that's wild.
No, Kante's had a great season after that, but I said right now today he's not the man that he was that season or the season after that. So
I would say definitely Danny Simpson's playing way above his level at that point. I'd say definitely he was never a title winning right back.
Where's Danny Simpson now?
Yeah,
he's on the floor still. Punch.
I think Kasper Schmeichel's had a really good season, a really good career after.
Yeah,
it's really.
Yeah, he's had a great career after. He's still there. Leicester are third.
Leicester are all right, you know. Now.
Yeah.
Who was the goal
Paul Robinson.
Paul Robinson.
That's a bad goalkeeper.
You know what? Do you know what it is? Yeah. Again,
I don't know because there's a lot more players from that team, and I don't know where they are.
How about this for a question? Would Leeds have won the league that year? Leicester won it
with that team.
No.
So the same Leeds team that finished in semi-finals in the Champions League, would they have won the league the year Leicester won it?
The circumstances are so different. I don't even know how to.
Yeah, I know it's a bad one, but
Adam, you know what it is? Adam, for me, I overrate Leeds for what they've done with those players. Now I agree with Tigo. I never thought that they were that sick individually, but for what they've done with that team and that manager, needs to be rated. That is it.
It was a freak.
That's it. I can't.
It was a freak. It was a fluke season.
I hate Leeds. I don't think that was an overrated team.
To be honest, I think we have an emotional attachment to it. We have an emotional attachment to that team because that's kind of our era of just coming into football. It's a sexy kit, the Nike kit with the yellow sponsor. Rio Ferdinand's there, and everyone here loves Rio Ferdinand as a player.
One question, Tigo. Leicester City win the league. Be honest. Let's win the league. Was that a fluke?
Yes.
Okay, cool. They were good. Then I understand where you're coming from.
Leicester City was definitely a fluke. And I think if you were to say that, is Rio Ferdinand better than Kante, Mahrez, and Vardy? I'd say yes. Does that elevate the quality of that team? Maybe. But my point is that Leeds United, no one went from Leeds United, apart from Rio Ferdinand, and was like, wow, everyone was right about that guy. And how is that possible when they were all so young? And the manager is David O'Leary. This guy is an opposition scout for Arsenal now.
Where did he go after that?
Villa. And then I think he managed in a couple of countries.
I'm sure he had Villa second for a hot minute though.
No, that was Martin O'Neill. That was Martin O'Neill. They were terrible under O'Leary.
But that's a bit like obviously
Brian Little had them challenging as well a little bit.
Obviously this guy's better,
doing something.
John Gregory, yeah.
John Gregory, that's the one.
Obviously this guy's better than O'Leary, but when I see Ranieri like at Nantes and that after Leicester, I just think to myself, you've gone backwards, bruv. Ranieri ain't done shit since
he was never at that level though.
He was never. He's always been too nice. He's always been too nice. He could only have won it with Leeds because he was never. He could never go into a big team and manage them. And when he went into Chelsea, and he was all too nice, and it got too much for him, and he got sacked, and everyone was feeling sorry for him. Like, I don't think you can be a manager like that at a big club and be soft. At Leicester, it worked because they weren't supposed to be there. So all that nice guy stuff could.
Ross is super invested in this Leicester team, so I want to hear what Ross has to say about this Leicester team. I feel like they've actually ruined his whole football existence.
Nah, Jose Mourinho has ruined my existence. But I just think that Leicester team is just so wildly overrated. Like, obviously, that people are going to sound bitter, but like we said before, like the players that have come after that, like where they've gone, no one's really turning up ground anywhere. Like you look at the fullbacks, Simpson and Fuchs, both of them. Where are they now?
Fuchs is at Crystal Palace.
Like, come on, like he's not a top. Like, they're not...
Oh no, he's not. He's still at Leicester, right, Fuchs?
Like, that's a maneuver. Listen, do you remember that second season, Ross? You know what nearly happened?
Go on.
Relegation.
Leicester, do you remember?
Yeah, they just dropped off completely. They had a Champions League run.
But the reason they're not overrated, the reason they're not overrated is because they won the league.
Yes.
if they didn't win the league and they finished second or third and then nearly got relegated, you say, wow, that team was overrated. They won the league. They peaked at the peak. So you can't be overrated when you do that. Because then it's there's nothing subjective I can offer to that Leicester team when they won the league.
Okay, so why are you not?
I don't think the achievement's overrated. Like, obviously it's mad, but like I just think like the squad itself is shit. Like, it's nothing to like shout about. If you look at every other team that's won the league, they don't compare to them.
Is Patch's Spurs team overrated?
That's partly just how impressive the achievement is, admittedly. But like,
I think the achievement's not overrated, but I think the team can be overrated. The achievement itself not be overrated. The Premier League, but the team can be overrated. 100%.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Adam's got a question for you, Ross.
We're talking about Leicester winning the league and Leeds being semi-finalists. Was Poch's Spurs team overrated in the end? Looking back, because it's finished now, and you've never done nothing, and he didn't win the final.
Yeah, you have to say, yeah, you have to. Of course you do.
Adam's on.
What do you have to show for it?
It's true, isn't it? So because we can look at it in hindsight now. Everyone gassed that team up, maybe even gassed Poch up. I included. So
that's a great point. You know, that Poch Spurs team is overrated.
Yeah, of course it was. Like, what does he actually have to show for it?
Poch could be out of work for a while now because Solskjaer's kept his job somehow. So
Newcastle, Adam, Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle.
Is that really happening though, or is that another false dawn for them with that?
My bro, you know who the Everton manager is? Do you know who the Everton manager is?
No, I know that, but I'm saying, is the takeover actually going to happen with Newcastle? Because we've heard it a lot.
Apparently, Newcastle got a backup buyer, this guy who owns Clear TV in the USA. So whatever happens, a billionaire's buying Newcastle.
Fair enough. Yeah, Poch could go there. But Poch and Newcastle might be the perfect match. Newcastle are like, remind me of England fans the way they are.
Ross, Ross, how much would it burn? How much would it burn if Pochettino wins stuff at Newcastle?
Mate.
No way. Starts taking the League Cup seriously and that.
Honestly.
Ross, you got Mourinho.
I think we've got Jose.
You got Mourinho,
man. Nah.
Why?
He's dead. He's washed.
Oh, he's what? He's what?
Washed. Jose's done. Jose's done.
Hey,
Adam.
He's got there before me. He got there before me. He did.
Adam,
I never wanted him.
And Poet sermonized me for calling him washed. They sermonized me.
Did what?
Sermonized you. They sermonized me. You see, Tigo? But argue with him. Go on, Tigo.
Ross was here. Ross was there. Ross saw the whole thing. He could have backed you. He chose not to. I took this argument to Adam. Me and Adam have had this argument many times.
About Jose?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wrong.
He was the pro-Jose one before I was pro-Jose.
Now, you know what I am? I'm pro-Manchester United, yeah.
Really, are you?
So you know what it is, yeah? If you're in my team, I can't ride against you like that. Not straight away, anyway. But Jose's finished. Jose's done.
I disagree.
It's done.
Disagree.
It's finished. It's
I
finished.
disagree.
He's going to win nothing for Spurs.
Nah, that's wrong.
Nothing.
You know what, Adam? Do you know one thing we haven't done? Do you know one thing me, you, well, all of us here probably haven't done? We haven't lived past a man being that great and seen what he has to achieve afterwards. We haven't had this unique situation. So we're just like, he's done. We're just ruling out Jose Mourinho, a man that probably knows more
Can I
about
tell you why I think that, though?
A man that's been in more situations football-wise than all of us, clearly probably has more knowledge than us, has achieved more than we'll ever achieve in football, but we're just gonna rule him out.
I think if you're gonna say, oh, they've achieved more than us in football, that means we just can't have an opinion on anything. Do you know what I mean?
No, but we are talking about one of the greatest achievements.
But no, I hear that. But listen, the reason why
chat with both this is education. You can't do that.
The reason why I think he's finished is from, like, I thought the same. You're always going to be a great manager. You're always going to know how to get results. But when he he's finished. He couldn't adapt. Look at Fergie over the years, bro. He adapted every single time. Listen why though? Listen why. The reason he sustained his success was because he changed and he adapted. Wenger never changed, never adapted to the modern game. Couldn't run success no more. Mourinho's the same, bro. He's not changed. He's not changed.
That Man United team was dead. Ferguson achieved so much. By the end of it, we'll never know why he left. But to me, he ran away because
we know why he left. He was preparing for the following campaign.
Who was the last team to beat Liverpool?
What do you mean?
The last team this year to beat Liverpool.
Spurs.
No, it was Atletico Madrid.
Sorry.
You telling me
I don't watch Champions
Mourinho?
League.
You telling me Jose Mourinho couldn't do what Diego Simeone did to win that game?
Yes, in a one-off game.
Coulda,
But over a 38-game season, he ain't doing it no more.
Woulda. This is what they do, Adam.
And he lost it overnight because he was second. He was second in the Premier League.
His experience at Real Madrid and United have cracked him.
Hold on. He was second in the Premier League. Then he told you you needed to spend like £80 million on a centre back. He told you you don't need to buy strikers. He told you need to invest in your midfield. He told you that your central midfielder that you spent all that money on was in too much control of the team. And Man United gave him Fred and Diogo Dalot and said, go ahead and do this again. Finished second in the same summer where Liverpool, you know who Liverpool bought January before? They bought Virgil van Dijk. They were ready to go. And Chelsea finished fifth or maybe fourth, but they'd had a bad half of the season on the continent. They bring in Sarri, so they're going ahead. They're pushing up now. So he told the board, here's what you need to do to stay up there. So Man United collapsed because he's at war with the board because the board don't see it. A year later, they spend £80 million on a centre back. They invest in all these positions. They buy the midfielder, and now they have and the midfielder that Mourinho said, back me against this guy. Guess how many games he's played for Man United this year?
Who?
Paul Pogba.
I don't forget that. Forget Paul Pogba.
You can't. It's part of it.
Look at Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho is his own problem. Yes, I am, because I'm sitting with my own eyes. Jose Mourinho.
Man United, that Man United team right there.
He can change, but he won't change. He's too stubborn in his own way. Let me talk. Because this whole time, bro, he's finished, bro. You can't keep saying, Paul Pogba this. Every time I hear an excuse for Jose Mourinho, yes, Manchester United should have backed him in the transfer market and got a centre-half. But at the end of the day, we didn't. How many managers move on and keep improving what they have?
Cool.
Fred, he bought Fred for 50 million, yeah?
No, he didn't. Yes, he did. He was bought for him. He was bought for him. He bought for him. No. He said he wanted a midfielder. Adam.
He said, I want Pogba. When we bought Lukaku, he said, I want Lukaku. He wanted everyone, and then when it doesn't go his own way, he goes back. Spurs ain't got no peace.
That's great. Are you telling me Jose Mourinho signed players for Manchester United? Is that where you're at right now?
Yeah, he did. Some of them he did.
Adam, let's say he did. Adam, I'll fit your argument. Let's say he did. Did Jose Mourinho underachieve at United in them 2 years?
Some of the season, not all of the season.
Oh, wait, no. You can't achieve.
Yes, I can, bro. Because it's not black and white. At the start, when he came in, he did well. Later on.
I listened to your fucking dissertation. Fuck that now. One question. In 2 years, did he underachieve?
In his last year, yes. In the first two,
he finished second. So did he underachieve in 2 years? Be honest.
In the first season, when he won 2 trophies, and the second campaign, he did all right. In his last season, he did not deal with change properly, bro. It's simple.
He finished second. So what are you? You were the second best.
Did you watch Manchester? Did anybody here watch Manchester United? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? I had to go to every game, yeah? I had to go to every game, yeah? This geezer spending 300, 400 million watching shit football, bro. Fuck that. You can't tell me, bro. Was that every game?
You are shit football, but you cast Arsenal for playing great football but not winning anything. But you lot play shit football, win things, achieve, and you're upset.
Did you watch his last season with United? No, I'm not confused. Because when he won trophies, I said, well done. For the Europa League and the League Cup ain't United. You get away with that at Spurs. Not United, bro.
Okay.
I don't feel like
not
watched him.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
One thing, please. One thing.
Okay. Mute is on. Okay. We're gonna calm down now. Jordy, how you doing?
Why was I on mute?
I muted everyone who was making noise at the same time.
I wasn't making noise. I just said Adam won. That's what I said.
But the premise of Adam's argument is washed because ultimately it was he failed
No, he never.
Therefore, he's finished.
No, it's not. It's his inability to change. It's his inability to change.
What do you mean his inability to change? He doesn't. The question is, does he have to change, Adam? You haven't actually explained why he had to change.
He will never.
The fact of the matter is, Manchester United, who had a choice, back him or don't back him, they decided not to back him. So whether or not he adapted to Manchester United's board and the way that they do business, okay, but does he have to change? Yes. Can he beat teams with his system, with his players, with the board backing him? Yes, he can.
His style's finished.
Unless you
know what it is, and you know what else as well. Yeah, you know a lot of good coaches and good managers. They get the best out of what they have. He can't do that unless you're gonna buy every single player for him. Unless you're gonna buy every single player for him that he wants, he's not going to get you anything.
Adam, I'm sorry, you're ignoring all of the trophies.
I'm not.
Hold on.
You're ignoring all of the success. You're talking about one spell at a club that did not back him. Sorry,
okay, what about after he won the league at Chelsea and he had to change things up? What happened?
He fell out of the club.
He went into Chelsea. He went into Chelsea and said, "This is going to be my long-term place. I'm going to be here for long. I'm going to use young players. I'm going to do this."
Like crowd.
But he won the league.
And then he left them in 15th, bruv.
But he won the league. What did he get signed for? He got signed to win the league.
Do you remember Fergie ever winning the league and next season being 15th?
Oh, and this is the thing. You're programmed to think everyone's going to be Fergie one day. No one's been Fergie since.
All right, watch this.
Okay, is Jose Mourinho going to win another big trophy ever again?
No. Yes.
Don't worry about it. It's not happening.
Yes.
Mourinho was.
Solskjaer going to win anything? Do you know, furthermore,
I haven't said anything about Solskjaer in this argument. So
I'm asking, I know you haven't. No one said you did. Stop defending something that nothing exists. Forget all that. When are Man United going to win something again?
What?
I genuinely don't know.
And do you know why you don't know? Because you haven't got anyone there you trust. You've just got someone there you're like, he's a nice guy. I like him. He's like my local shopkeeper. No matter what you say, your argument for Jose Mourinho being washed is that you lot didn't play good football. So for me personally, I'm not.
It's because it didn't work out. Because if they won the league playing bad football,
have you not even watched Spurs?
Different story.
Russ, talk to me about Jose and Spurs now, please, because these lads seem to think it's just me and just United. I don't understand.
Go on, Ross.
I genuinely just won't watch this. I think, like, even though I think Jose's washed and, like, as a manager in the modern age, he's done. Looking past that, he doesn't fit Spurs at all. So, like, my point is, even past Mourinho being washed, in the context of Tottenham, it doesn't work. It will never work because historically he's always spent money and he's always brought in his own players. He's not going to be able to do either of them at Spurs.
Okay, so I would say this. He hasn't always brought in his own players. That's a falsehood. Well, he didn't buy Frank Lampard. He didn't buy John Terry. Most of that team that Ranieri bought a lot of those. No, he didn't buy half of Porto's team. That's an exaggeration. That's an exaggeration. He hasn't bought a whole team everywhere he's gone. That is not true. I know what you mean, but it's not true. And I get it.
As a whole team.
Yeah, that's not true.
Let's deal with facts. At Real Madrid? Yep. Did he inherit good players at Inter Milan? Yep. Did he inherit good players at Chelsea? Yep. Did he win stuff? Yep.
How many good players at Tottenham?
And win fuck all.
He's inherited some good players at Tottenham. Some. And he's going to struggle now because the club have got no money to buy players.
Exactly.
Is that another excuse I hear for Jose?
Exactly.
And the ones that
no, because Man United ain't going to win anything either because
I don't care, bro. We ain't got Jose boring us out every single week, bro.
I'm just saying,
Jose. I got a smile on my face. That's all that matters.
Tottenham will improve from where they were with Jose Mourinho. He will make Ndombele a decent player.
Bro, when Jose's at United, he kept saying, if we had Spurs as players, we'd win the league. The geezer ain't doing nothing with that team, man.
That's a different team.
That's different now, bro.
That's a different team.
Adam, catch. Amazing. Keep my hat, Mo.
I think you're too. I mean, look, I'm definitely here for both your opinions on this because obviously you lived under him, and I would not want him to manage my team. Let's be clear. I would not. I don't like watching his teams. I wouldn't enjoy it. Right?
You know who the team is for Jose? Newcastle. You can go there. Get loads of money, no expectation. The fans will love you if you win 2 games on the spin. So there's no expectation there.
Nah.
Go to Newcastle. You can buy who you want.
That is not.
Spurs, you can't do it.
Adam, one second. Tigo's going to kick off. Tigo, finish what you're going to say.
Sorry.
That's not even true. Newcastle have turned on their managers for playing bad football. Their last 3 managers, like Newcastle fans, want to see good football. They would not accept Jose Mourinho. But tactically, he's not done. Tactically, I've been saying this. I actually think that the period of COVID where he's been living with 3 coaches in a house. He moved away from his family to live with 3 coaches in a house during COVID. He's been training. He's got all these players running out in the park for him. Jose Mourinho is ready to outthink and outsmart Pep and Klopp. Whether or not he has the personnel, whether or not he's got the personnel is a different story. But Jose Mourinho is going to be a very, very difficult problem for the top managers to solve next season.
I don't think Jose is finished tactically. I don't.
Go on, Jordy.
I do think he wish he got the Newcastle job now.
Oh yeah, I agree because he's got no money.
But over a full season, man management, everything you have to do as a manager, Jose ain't got it all anymore.
So wait, but the man management issue is one that's funny because obviously he fell out with Paul Pogba.
It's not just Paul Pogba.
Hold on. The next manager fell out with Paul Pogba. Then he went to Tottenham, and everyone was like, "Look, there's a sign that he's got poor man management because he fell out with Ndombele." Except that Pochettino had called out Ndombele for the same thing. And if you look at what's happened since then, Ndombele seems to be committed to building around what Mourinho wants. So the whole idea of him being a bad man manager is really just based on, the Luke Shaw thing. Again, the Luke Shaw thing. Luke Shaw was called out by Louis van Gaal and he was called out by Roy Hodgson before he was called out by Jose Mourinho. Then you've got Anthony Martial called out. Okay, well, let's Martial FC, everything else. But
Martial had 10 goals.
Has he
10 goals, 10 assists at December.
Okay. Has he proved anyone wrong yet in terms of attitude? As
Jose.
Well, yeah, because he's got. What are you talking about? Has he?
Has Jose proved anyone wrong since United?
What? We've got 4 games of managing.
But the players look better.
Adam, you lost.
It's not.
This is a guy with 2 Champions League wins, with a title in 4 countries.
In the past, bruv. In the past. Bring Sir Alex Ferguson back now. He's not going to win nothing, man. He's been done for too long. Jose's done, and it's his inability to change. That's what it is. Tactically, in one game, in a one-off game, he can do it. But over a season, sorry.
Poet, I tell him I disagree.
Mad. He's mad.
No, not him. The other guy. I mean, the other guy, the one you just sent me a message from. Tell him I disagree. But no, you don't have to tell him I disagree. But look, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're gonna see what. I hear you. What we're gonna see. We're gonna see what Jose Mourinho does next year. I think the idea that he's finished, but tactically he's still up there. I think that's just so bizarre. And you've said it now, and Specs has said it, and it means less than nothing. Everything about a manager that's important, he's still good at. But he's a bad man manager because he fell out with players who other managers have fallen out with and who have yet to prove him wrong.
Are Spurs getting top 4 next year?
No.
Has he improved anyone at Spurs?
In 4 games, Adam. Adam, I'm going to kick you out, man.
No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. You can't do that, man. Don't do that.
I love you like man. I'm sorry.
No, man, because
when you say something silly like that, though, Specs,
I haven't said nothing silly. I'll stand by everything.
You said, has he improved anyone at Spurs?
No, he hasn't.
What? He's been there for 5 minutes. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's way too early.
Is Tigo having a house? Yes.
How many games has Harry Kane played for Jose Mourinho?
Like less than 10.
Yeah.
No, it's none. Like,
none. I think it's none. Yeah.
You might have a howler. Just let's move from this.
No. He injured himself under Jose.
He didn't for Jose Mourinho. He was flooring.
Guys, let's just wrap it up now. Is Jose get top 4 next year?
No.
All right, let's do top 4 next year then. Liverpool and City, 30. Chelsea, Man United, Spurs, Arsenal, Leicester. They're the teams competing for those last 2 positions. If you want to tell me that there's one of those is certainly going to get one of those positions, then I think you're lying to yourself.
I think City will win the league, Liverpool second. Yeah, the rest is too open.
Yeah.
It's too open. It depends on the summers that they have as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because especially with the COVID situation. some teams probably ain't going to be able to spend, so that there might even be a surprise come through.
That's the thing. Like, we was never going to be able to rectify our issues this summer, regardless of COVID. And now COVID's happening, we're definitely not going to be able to.
No, but at least you have a manager. You have a manager that's not just going to go, all right, let's see if we can get the best out of this team. He's going to go, I know where our weaknesses are. I know where our strengths are. We're going to play exactly to those. I think you've got a good manager for this circumstance, in my opinion.
That's true. But this team has needed like a refresh for approaching 4 or 5 years now.
True, yeah.
I agree.
But he could be that refresh.
The back four's legs are done.
Yes, they are.
Like, Vertonghen's legs are done. He looks like he's running through mud. I've never
He's
seen
out of contract anyway,
like
though, isn't he?
No, but they're now probably going to just extend it just because we need him. Like, it's just a body, which is, madness. The only thing I will say is Ndombele next season will be amazing.
I think Davinson Sanchez will tear up next year as well.
Ndombele's a baller.
I'm unsure.
One sec.
Take your time out there, man.
Listen, guys, in the comments. I know there's a lot of investment because here's the thing about Jose Mourinho, right? I don't think there's a fan base on his side. So Chelsea fans will tell you he's finished because it works for them. He's never going to come back and hurt us. Man United will tell you that he's finished because it works for them. He's never going to come back and hurt us. Arsenal fans will tell you he's finished because it works for them. He's never going to come back and hurt us. Tottenham fans are split. I mean, I think they're probably more anti than they are pro Mourinho. But also, I think there's a new reality going on there. And I think ultimately, if you step back from it and you just go, let's analyze this. Is this man one of the smartest managers of our lifetime of watching football? And if you present him with a serious tactical problem, is he going to solve it? I would say I've got more faith in him solving it than any other manager in the Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is your prediction, by the way.
You could say that.
I think there's as much evidence to suggest you're wrong as there is to say
no, there's not. There's not as much evidence to say I'm wrong. That's ridiculous.
There is as much to say you're wrong as there is to say you're
right.
No,
there's not. That's ridiculous.
There is. The evidence is there if you want to see it.
What evidence?
You've think I'm just saying it because he hurt us at United.
Your argument is so 7 days. It's annoying me now. You keep talking about Pogba. No one plays Pogba, so we can't talk about Jose and Pogba.
I never spoke about Pogba.
Let's talk about trophies. Well, he's won the most trophies since.
You're putting words in his mouth.
But I never spoke about Pogba. You're getting angry, but I never spoke about Pogba.
Let's talk about
You've been talking nonsense for the whole conversation.
No, I haven't.
The evidence is there.
No evidence.
Since Sir Alex Ferguson left Manchester United, which manager has attained the highest league position?
This is what I never heard the whole question.
Sorry, I'll give you the whole question again. Since Sir Alex Ferguson left Manchester United, which manager has attained the highest league position?
I don't know, probably him. I don't care about that, bro. The evidence, watch his football, watch his management. Why is he no longer at Man United? Why didn't he stay at Chelsea?
Why when I don't like him?
I don't like him, but at the same time, I wouldn't allow that to. No, I appreciate him for what he done in his first season. He won 2 trophies. That was great. But ultimately, look at what he has done. He can no longer do it. Yes, in some games, over 90 minutes, tactically, he'll do it. But over the long course of a season, managing a whole squad, he's not really got it. Let's be real. And if he was still at United, you lot wouldn't be saying this, bro. If he was at United, you wouldn't be saying this.
He didn't deserve to stay.
Why is he still not there now?
Because he left. He departed.
Excuses. If he ain't there, he at Chelsea he did well.
It's terrible. It's got Ebola. Get off.
Their job came up before as well. Spurs.
Jose to be washed, he has to have at his last job achieved nothing. And I would I would be like, Jose Moyes to me is washed. I don't know how he survives today. I don't know what Jose Moyes is going to do. David O'Leary, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. But you can't say in a game where in the league, there's only one trophy you can win. There's only one league and there's 20 teams. In the cups, there's multiple teams. There's only 4 trophies to win at the start of the season. And Jose Mourinho always wins you one. And you're going to say he's dead.
Again, Specs, I told you yesterday that when you bring arguments that I don't rate, I do the research and I come back with weapons. The Manchester United team that finished second in the Premier League. In terms of players who played 10 or more games, David De Gea, Lindelof, Bailey, Jones, 23 apps, Pogba, Alex Sanchez, 12 apps, Juan Mata, Lukaku, Zlatan played 1. Martial, Smalling, Lingard, Young, Rashford, Mkhitaryan, Shaw, Valencia, Fellaini, Matic, Darmian, McTominay. Okay.
Most of them players he signed.
Okay, that team finished above the Liverpool team that had to play Carrick in goal, granted. Van Dijk, Wijnaldum, Lovren, Milner, Firmino, Salah, Gomez, Henderson, Klavan, Moreno, Mane, Lallana, Ox, Mignolet, Chan, Robertson, Ings, Solanke, Matip, Trent. Okay.
But you're looking at the Liverpool. You're looking at that Liverpool team. How you see them now?
No, I'm not.
And how we saw them then wasn't exactly the same as
how you saw them.
Also, hang on a minute. He spent 30 mil on Bailey. He bought Lindelof. He bought Matic. He wanted Matic, bro. When Chelsea were buying Kante for 40 million, he splashed it on Matic. That was him.
Well, Matic is still in the Man United team.
Exactly. We're stuck with that shit.
Yeah, but Adam, and he finished second with that. But Matic is not even
20 points off top spot, bro.
And by the way, don't tell me we didn't. Don't tell me we didn't see Liverpool that way, because that is the year that they signed Virgil van Dijk. That's the year they signed Virgil van Dijk. When Klopp
they signed him in January, by the way.
Yes, exactly. And when Klopp starts to click, and everyone knows that what's coming with that team. And just because you didn't see it doesn't mean Jose Mourinho didn't. Jose Mourinho saw it.
I'm talking about Jose now. Is washed, finished.
So why is he not keeping these jobs?
He burns because he's got a plan. He ultimately flops after 3 years. 100%. That happens. That 100% happens.
Why for me? Sorry, Tigo. Do you know why for me? Because the people that own football clubs don't know nothing about football. So that's the biggest problem.
I'm just going to bring in a troublemaker quickly. What are you saying, Bo?
Adam and Ross. Fucking hell, Filthy Fellas has gone international now.
International. Watch this, guys. Yeah. Hey, everybody, watch this. Bo,
Jose. Are you going to talk about Mahmoud? Yeah.
Mourinho.
He's a piece of shit.
Will he just win a match over from now?
Now, you know what I've been saying. Of course, he's not going to, but I'm going to get involved in the conversation that you lot have been speaking about. Before I go anywhere, put words in Adam's mouth, because that was his argument. Nobody spoke about Pogba.
Yeah, that's the first thing. That's what Pep does.
The first thing. Yeah. Secondly, Tigo's point was absolutely accurate in terms of talking about tactical problems and who he would trust most to solve them would be probably Mourinho in the league at this point. Yes. Fair, but management isn't down to one game, one tactical problem, and that's it. It's not that. And the problem with Mourinho, the reason why he won't succeed is because he's not able to adapt outside of just the football pitch. Because if it's just the football pitch and it's just there's 60 minutes in the match and something's gone wrong for the last half an hour, it's Mourinho that I would pull out and trust to probably win that game. I agree, but football's moved on, and the main thing that Tigo and Poet no. Let me finish what I'm saying. The main thing that you use, Tigo and Poet, is the fact that he's won X amount in so many years. But how recent has his real success been? Because let's be honest, boys. What was Manchester United? Was that real success? Would you call that success, Tigo? I'm talking about trophies, because that's what you use.
Winning trophies at Man United was unrealistic at that time.
But Tigo, that's not the question I asked you. I said, was it real success? Because that's what you not use.
Yeah, it was real success. It was real success. Your most successful ever manager, your greatest ever manager left. You didn't come close to second.
But Tigo, all of that.
He got you back in the Champions League. He finished second. That was
Tigo, agreed. You know your point, Tigo. I'm not disagreeing what you're saying. I'm asking you a separate question. What I'm saying, and I'm asking Poet as well. Was it real success at Manchester United? I'm just asking.
Yes.
All right, Bo, look at the circumstances. You had David Moyes.
Answer the question.
Yes, answers yes.
Explain the question. I'm going to explain it to you because I can't just answer the question. You're not going to understand where I'm coming from. So let me show you where I'm coming from. Because for you to even ask that question is ludicrous to me. So let me just break it down for you, bro. Man United at that time were memed as bollocks. Man, you had a Stormzy disrespecting David Moyes, your manager, on Shut Up. You lot were an absolute joke. No one took you serious. Arsenal beating you 3-0 with Theo Walcott man of the match. It was just a shambles over there. Introduce Mourinho. The one thing he brought that you didn't have was a bit of frigid structure. He said, this is the way it's going to go, irrespective of what anyone thinks. Your team was a shambles. He comes, he had to get you lot into the Champions League. He did it with 2 trophies. Then the following season, he actually got you lot second, and God knows how. And then that was the end of Jose Mourinho. But to you lot, he's a failure. But that's the closest you've ever been to.
It's convenient for you lot to say he's a failure now. It's convenient.
You lot can say, I don't like
It's just us, man. It's just us. It's just us.
Every fan base, every major fan base is in there.
Like personality and his style of football, which I agree. His personality is a shambles sometimes, and his style of football, I would never want to see as an Arsenal fan. But that's just because I don't want to see it. I can't disregard it as something that's effective, working, and is good. I can't. That's just unfair.
I am.
Diego Simeone style of play and specs.
All right, let me do this. Let's do this. Hold on. All right, I want you to tell me, Adam Boat, you know this better than anyone. I want you to tell me which of these players, 2 years on, is still starting for Manchester United.
What are you getting
at, man? Just
starting for Manchester United.
Tigo, what are you getting at? I'll answer.
The team that he finished second with, the team that he won.
Tigo, let me ask you a question, bro. If you had a football team and you were going to employ any manager, would it be Jose Mourinho?
Yes.
No,
okay, then
you're lying to yourself, bro. You're lying to yourself.
No, Tigo, I'm going to answer your questions because that's unfair. You're making a point, whatever, yeah? I'm just going to say this. A lot of this whole Jose Mourinho fight is based on circumstances needing to suit him, number one, and number two, what he's done. We are talking about
so convenient to say that. It's so convenient to say that when the circumstances were whatever they were, and he won the league in the first season at every team he was at, and then he went Man United, and then he went Man United, and he won 2 trophies out of nowhere and finished second. And like this guy is habitual.
2 trophies out of nowhere. We won the FA Cup the year before. Why don't no one talk about Van Gaal? Everyone still says Van Gaal finished.
Who did you beat in the final for that?
Sorry, it doesn't matter who beat him.
He finished fifth.
Palace, fifth. Okay, but with Mourinho, with Mourinho, we finished 6th and had a worse off season.
But what was the mission? What was the mission?
To get back into the Champions League.
Okay.
So okay, but Tigo, the point made was valid. The point. Do you realize? Do you realize what you lot talk about is old Mourinho? Now Mourinho.
We're talking about every Mourinho's old Mourinho.
You know what I said? Do you know what he said? Poet says it all the time, and it's the truth. You are only as good as your last match, season, game, whatever it is. Right now. You're
comparing it to what? That this doesn't make any sense.
I'm comparing him to him.
Tigo said it, and you lot keep ignoring it. Liverpool in January signed Van Dijk. Now, if Liverpool signed Van Dijk and come June, Mourinho saying, yo, we need backup because Van Dijk's a problem, and Liverpool go on to be what they are. For me, that's a man with foresight. He's seen a problem way earlier than me. I didn't think Van Dijk was going to be this problem. He has seen it and said, Man United, in order for us to compete with Liverpool, we need to invest. The following year, they go into the Champions League final. The year after that, they win the Champions League final, and now they're 25 points clear in the Premier League. So
what does that mean?
He's seeing Liverpool as a threat. You're only going to say we need to go and get players.
He bought a couple centre-backs.
Pardon?
The reason he never got centre-backs was because he bought 2 and fucked them up.
But he bought 2.
Like I said, it doesn't matter about what's happening because about what's happening now.
£30 million on a centre-back is not...
Mourinho knows what he's talking about.
£30 million on a centre-back, and help me out here, guys. £30 million on a centre-back is not enough.
He brought a whole team.
Sure.
He brought 2 centre-backs, a full-back, 3 midfielders.
£30 million on a centre-back is not enough, and that's why Manchester City's centre-back is what nearly double that price. Man United's main centre-back is now 150% higher price than that. So was Liverpool's. £30 million was never enough to buy a centre-back that was going to change Manchester United's fortunes. The club didn't want to admit it until he left.
And guess who we wanted to buy? Toby Alderweireld, who's washed already at Spurs.
Well, he wanted to buy Harry Maguire, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't hear what he said. Does next?
He said he wanted to buy. He said he wanted to buy Harry Maguire them times.
Questionable.
Yeah, and you look at the Chelsea again, and you compare to the Chelsea team that's coming. Like Jose Mourinho was telling Manchester United, look at what is coming. He sees Chelsea with young players and they're underperforming because that's the year that Conte collapses as well. Next year's going to be sorry. They're going to be back in the game. He's telling Manchester United, get real.
I think you're giving Jose too much credit, to be honest with you.
Do you know what's mad? You know what's crazy?
Adam.
You know what's
He
crazy?
lived in a hotel room. He didn't even want to be there, bro. You going on like he was the man.
One sec. I'm going to say this here now as well, so we got it on record, yeah? When Mourinho gets sacked, and I say when, because he's going to get sacked from this Tottenham job.
Yes.
Hold on, pause. When he gets sacked from this Tottenham job, I believe what Tigo and Poet, people like you, are going to say is Tottenham didn't meet his demands.
Exactly.
Now, pause a second, because what happens is every time it's almost as if it's about Jose Mourinho and what he wants to do. As with the football team, it should be, yes, correct. But everything around it, which I keep telling you, he's not used to. So he cannot succeed because he's not moving with the... Bro, where am I on this camera? Yeah, he's not moving.
He didn't do nothing successful at Man United, is what you're saying.
I didn't... Poet, don't do that. You're, again, putting words in my mouth. Don't do that. I don't want... Poet, I don't want what you're handing out. I don't want what you're handing out. I don't want what you're handing out. I'm saying... Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to Poet. I don't put words in my mouth. I don't like what you're handing. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. Can I talk, please? Is it all right if I speak? Is it all right? Thank you. What I was saying is this. When it comes to Mourinho, when he gets sacked from this Tottenham job, the only reason you lot are going to have is because Tottenham didn't meet his demands. When if you look at it,
it's too hypothetical. It's too hypothetical. Come on, man.
It's not.
How hypothetical is that?
It's not. You speak about what he's won consistently. So why is that?
Because you're telling people what their arguments are going to be for something that hasn't happened. That's mental. Let's just deal with right now.
But he was a successful manager at Arsenal, but he was still finished.
Listen. Boys,
let's deal with it right now. You said Tigo. Go on.
Specs, go.
All right. We've had this argument so many times, right? Tigo and Poet, obviously, your arguments ain't going to change. We think he's washed. You don't think he's washed. So the only thing we can do now is see what happens at Tottenham. But Tigo and Poet, if he gets sacked at Tottenham, right? Without
don't move the goalposts again.
You cannot come up to you, all right? Tottenham did this and that. That's what I'm saying to you.
Ross, hold on, Ross. Can I? If Jose Mourinho gets sacked by Tottenham, can I turn around and say Tottenham Hotspur did not give him any tools to win? Can I, Ross?
No.
Yes, and that's why he's not the right fit for our club now.
There you go.
So, if you're saying that, Tigo, if you could say that, there's no point us having this talk because you can say it every time.
No, because he's got a whole career ahead of him. I think Jose Mourinho will be. I think Jose Mourinho will be a good Tottenham manager. But to say that I will never the fact that Tottenham have no money, they built a stadium, coronavirus has come, they got no sellable assets, and they can't do any real business. If you say I can't use that as an excuse,
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying in this argument, we're never get to the bottom of it.
I don't think you will. I think we will get to the bottom of it. I don't think it's going to take 2-3 months.
All right, Ross, can I ask you? Because I'm just very confused. I hate being confused. When has Mourinho not succeeded? That's all I want.
You're gonna disagree, but most people would say United. Yeah, most people would say United.
Did you say that though?
And to be fair, people would say even Chelsea. When he went back to Chelsea second time, his whole thing was, "I'm home. It's a legacy." Second season blows up in his face.
The things Jose Mourinho needs to say to get his fan base on side when he first joins the club. If you're going to use that against him, then you fundamentally don't understand Jose Mourinho. Because
what you're saying is that
if fans are sad because they didn't get what he said he was going to deliver, but he's got the titles and he gave him titles and the cups. And they go, oh no, he said he was going to love us forever. That's just sad.
You can't ask that question though. The question the debate we're having is Jose still good enough? And you're saying, was he successful? It's like saying, was Arsene Wenger successful at Arsenal? Yes. No, at the end, yes, it is, because you're saying, was he successful at United? But the answer's not black and white. The answer's not black and white. In the first season, he was successful. In the second season, he was kind of successful. And in the third season, he was fucking awful.
Here's why the Wenger comparison doesn't work. First thing, Wenger did it all in one club. Second,
I was exaggerating a point to make a point.
But there isn't a point there, though. There isn't a point there because Wenger is not still in management. Wenger is not managing other teams. So it's not like you can go, he's finished. Look what he did at that team and that team and that team.
I'm on about the question that Poet was asking was he successful? That was the question. And the answer to that is yes, he was. No one's saying he wasn't successful. Exactly. But it was a very short period of time. No one has ever said that's
Adam,
not act like it's a.
Adam,
I don't understand.
Adam, when you're arguing with Pochettino, this is what they do. They take you around the world
because they're wrong. That's why
they don't stick to that.
Can I just say this as well?
Wait. Mourinho being washed doesn't mean he wasn't successful in the past.
Or you can't tactically do it in a game.
Obviously, it doesn't mean that. No one's ever saying that it's ever going to mean that.
You're
taking because he was successful at Manchester United 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
But he also failed at United 2 years ago.
He failed at every team.
You can't look at the success and say, don't look at the failure,
yes,
bro.
we can. Because there's a pattern at every team he manages, and it's success.
He's not going to have any success at Spurs.
Then failure.
Success,
then failure. That's what he does.
Right,
he's not having none at Spurs. None.
I'll walk away. I'm going to go away for a little 15 minutes. All I will say, lads, I respect you all in your fields. If you was successful for 20 years in your field and you had a dodgy year, and man wrote you off after 20 years of success, I would be very, very confused.
Jose's failed more than once.
More than one.
Everything. Jose Mourinho has failed at every job he's ever had. Jose Mourinho has failed at every job he's ever had.
I never heard what you said there, Paul.
Jose Mourinho has failed at every job he's ever had.
At the end, he does.
Yes.
Not every job.
Every job. Every
not
job.
At Porto, obviously.
Adam.
Not at Porto. But the success before, that's what he was paid for.
I can hear both of you talking.
Jose Mourinho succeeds before he fails. He succeeds everywhere.
He will not succeed at Spurs
because
he's a bust flush.
All right. Would that make him a failure to you? And
at
what
Spurs?
if he doesn't succeed at Spurs?
Overall, he's finished now. He has been a great manager. He will always have been a great manager. On his day, he can get a result. But if you're building a team, and you're telling me Mourinho is one of the top 3 managers, or what he was, when he's not anymore, and he's no longer what he was. He's not going to get success at Spurs. He can't rebuild for success.
Adam, 1 second. This is one thing I'm confused about. The things that you seem to have a problem
this is not what you've been saying.
The things that you have a problem with. I've seen Mourinho do that.
I can't hear that.
1 second, boys. The things you have a problem with, I've seen Jose Mourinho do that in 2006. But I've never not called him successful. He sometimes played very boring shit football, and he always has an argument at the end. But I've never called him not successful because of that. So because of now, all of a sudden it happens at Man United with a team that's not good enough to win the league, but he's still successful, but it ends the same way it ends everywhere else. He's not a good gaffer.
Because it's a little bit different now. You know
why?
You know when you look at him now, look at Sevilla game, for example. You can't tell me. No, I'm just using examples. This is what you lot do. You pick out someone's trying to make a point.
Look at that.
It's like, look at Sevilla. If he was still a great manager, why does he say this team's not good enough to beat Sevilla? But you're Mr. Mourinho, supposed to be this great manager. Do something. Why is there always an excuse with him? Why does he never focus yes, there is always an excuse.
But what was the excuse for winning the Champions League at 2 different teams? What was the excuse for that?
That was back then.
What was the excuse for beating Ajax in the Europa League final? What was the excuse then?
All right, cool. Mourinho's great, bro. You's like right. We'll see in it. He's going to prove it. He's going to prove you's like right.
Luckily, he has proved it. Every 2 years of his career.
But it's like saying, it's true, innit? You can't. If you ask me, has Wenger been a success at Arsenal? Yes, but at the end, did he deserve to get sacked? Yes.
Do you want some backup from the worst possible backup?
I don't want any backup because I know I'm right.
Well, too late. You're back up to it.
Oh, shit!
It's not about. Do you want backup from the worst possible?
Hollywood Hogan.
Adam.
Yes,
I think you said. I agree with Bolt. He's finished. That's it. I'm done. That's it.
He's washed.
Yes, that's it.
I've always said Miles talks sense, you know.
That's the reason why both of you are wankers. You know what, Adam? It all makes sense why you're a copper 90 now. Go back when you get the opportunity. You lot are full.
I think this is funny, but again, it's all about context, right? And we're projecting for. We're saying Jose Mourinho will or won't be. But things like this, don't bring up Ajax when their best player was Kasper Dolberg. Okay, what, a year after they're in the Champions League final? The Man United team, Champions League semi-final, sorry? I think there's a load of context here. Like I say, that
was a good Ajax team. It was all right.
Yeah, it was. And if I run through the Manchester United squad that he had at
Pogba
that
scored in
time.
that final, but it's not a success, by the way.
If I run through the list of players who were in Man United squad at that time, how many of them still start for Manchester United? You will see the Manchester United squad is actually the Jose Mourinho left that he said he needs to improve was actually not very good, and most of those players don't start for the new manager because they had young players come through like Scott McTominay, who is Jose Mourinho prospect. Or they had young player, or they signed a load of players, £80 million on Harry Maguire. Bruno Fernandes coming in for big money. They've revolutionized that team in a way that needed to be revolutionized. But you know, if I talk to Manchester United fans and I say, which players do they need to sell? You'll list me: Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, Alexis Sanchez, Juan Mata. These are all players that should have been gone then. Ashley Young, he did go. Manchester United weren't ready for that revolution at that time.
Bro,
So
I made those excuses for Jose at the time, and they're bang on. They're bang on. You can't deny the faults that the club have, and you know my opinion on the Glazers and the ownership and Woodward and everything. But you can't use those excuses for everything that Jose got wrong as well.
Definitely not an excuse for everything he gets wrong. And like I say, he goes mental the third year every single time. I'm just saying that if Manchester United had backed him that season when he finished second, he saw what was happening in Liverpool. He saw Chelsea come in with Sarri with the change of manager. If they'd actually backed him the way that they did eventually under Solskjaer, just slowly spend the money on Bruno Fernandes, spend the money on Harry Maguire, sell this, loan this guy, get this player out of the squad. The shit that happened was the shit that needed to happen. Jose Mourinho may or may not have said it, but what we're led to believe is that he said, change these things now.
No, I agree in the sense that Jose should have been back more in that summer.
This is business.
My head is gone when it's finished. He should have been back more in that summer, but at the same time, the excuses ain't gonna run for me, man. He done too much wrong. There's too much of his fault, and he burns the house down when one thing goes against him, he fucks everything up.
I agree, but I'm saying you don't pay. You pay knowing what happens at the end of 3 years.
And also, he's never going to win a big trophy again.
That's too wild of a statement.
He can win Europa League because we're playing second-rate teams. He can win League Cup because it's
You tell me Juventus would never go if Juventus finished second, they don't go shit. We need to go back and win the league.
I bet you Juventus don't ever appoint Mourinho.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. It's just too much of a hypothetical situation. Jose Mourinho will be spoken about for the top jobs for the rest of his life.
And he won't get any. He'll just be spoken about.
Why won't he get any?
That's why he's at Spurs. If he could get a real job, he wouldn't be at Spurs.
No, he's in a team that competes for the Champions League places. It was in the Champions League final last year and he's getting paid a stupid load of money. That's why he's at Tottenham Hotspur.
If he was still a top manager, he wouldn't be at Spurs.
So you're telling me that Tottenham Hotspur...
He once said he would never go to Spurs. Okay, so now, because his stock's dropped, he'll go to Spurs.
This is all that stuff to me.
We're a different club now, though.
Yeah, all that stuff's emotional.
You're the same old Spurs. What have you done to be a different club? You bought a new stadium.
It's unbelievable.
You bought a new stadium. What have you done?
They won the Champions League final last year.
I don't care. So what? Like, you're still the same Spurs.
That's why Jose was appointed.
You're still the same Spurs.
Titles.
Spurs are the same Spurs they always have been.
That's such a fucking
in a new stadium
argument, man.
It's the truth.
Such a boring argument.
It's the truth. It might be boring to you because you've had it all your life, but it's the truth.
This is the problem, right? Manchester United haven't been Manchester United now for 7 years.
It's going to be 10 years before we win the league.
But you're talking about Tottenham, who have been to a Champions League final in the last year, as being something below Manchester. You haven't been Manchester United for 7 years.
I'd say Spurs are probably about on par with us right now. But you ain't going to go past us because you got Mourinho. Okay, let me ask you this. When United had Jose and Spurs had Poch, would any Spurs fan in their right mind have swapped managers?
No, definitely not Ross. Ross definitely wouldn't.
No, of course not.
Would you have advised
now
them
Poch
to
as the manager at Spurs?
Anyway.
Say again?
Well, Specs had an interesting take on this. Despite everything he stands on right now, he said he'd take him at Arsenal.
No, I didn't say I'd take him at Arsenal. I said when we had no manager and he was linked to Arsenal, I would have taken them. That's what I said. Don't. Hey, Adam, let me tell you something here. I've voice noted. I sent Tigo voice notes today. Tigo, you're going to bring the dinosaur out of the box. That's a saying. Welcome to hell. Remember I told you.
Miles,
So
Specs said he would have taken Mourinho 3 months ago, but now they've got a manager who has barely improved statistically this Arsenal team. They're still ninth.
Yeah, what did I say?
He's saying I wouldn't take him.
I wouldn't take who?
Mourinho.
What, now?
Yeah. But you would have 3 months ago.
Never asked me that.
Would you take him now?
Mourinho?
Yeah.
Yeah. Arsenal,
Okay.
where are we today? Where are we today?
Bye.
You know what? Do you know why? Do you know why though? Do you know
You're an
why?
idiot.
Let me answer. Do you know why? Do you know why I'll take Mourinho now? Because Mourinho can get me top 4. I don't understand.
But he can't get Tottenham top 4.
Who?
Mourinho.
When you asked that question, I didn't get involved in that.
Ruh-roh.
Wait,
Is top 4 success for Spurs under Mourinho?
That's bro. Wait, 1 second, yeah. When I see Mourinho's washed, this is what you lot do. You lot change what I say. When I see Mourinho's washed, I say he won't win a major trophy. Why do you keep asking about top 4, Tigo?
It relates back to an argument.
We were a good tag team then until you just argument.
It relates back to the conversation we had earlier when we said, will they finish top 4? Adam said no, and the consensus of anti-Mourinho was that no, they won't finish top 4.
What did I say about that question?
I just asked you and you just answered. You said you think he can.
I don't. Yeah, but that top 4's not for me. Mourinho getting top 4. That doesn't mean Mourinho's sick. Mourinho should be at the levels of Klopp and fucking Guardiola winning major trophies because that's what he's done in the past. What are you talking about top 4?
But he's not managing.
Wait, 1 second. When I say washed, I'm talking about major trophies. You don't tell me what I mean when I say washed.
Okay, but he's not managing. He's not managing Real Madrid, Chelsea, Manchester United.
I don't care. He's washed.
So how's he going to win a major trophy at Tottenham Hotspur?
What?
How's he going to win a major trophy at Tottenham Hotspur? That would be their first major. That would be their first major. Hold on. That would be their first major trophy in 50 years.
So I can't say he's washed.
You can say what you want. I'm just saying you've got nothing. I'm saying you've got nothing.
No, Tigo, you're telling me I can't call Mourinho washed because he's a Tottenham manager.
I didn't say that. I said you can say whatever you want. I'm saying you've got nothing.
I'm saying the guy is washed because I don't feel like he can do what he's done before. And what he's done before is win majors. That's it.
Because he manages a team that hasn't won one in 50 years.
Tigo, I don't give a fuck who he manages now or he's going to manage tomorrow.
You have to, but you have to, Specs.
I swear that's the first time I've ever heard Specs swear, you know.
I'm predicting the guy is washed. That's what I'm predicting. How can you argue with me?
I'm not. Mate. I'm not arguing. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy.
Where's the hypocrisy? What? So you're telling me Arsenal we're in the league right now?
Ninth.
We're ninth. Right now, wait! Don't cut me up. Don't annoy me. Don't cut me up. 1 second. Right now, at my club, I want top 4.
Yeah.
So I can't accept Mourinho at my club. That's what you're telling me.
No, I didn't say any of that.
So what the fuck are you not talking about?
I'm saying that you think he's finished, but you take him at your club. You think he's finished. Hold on. You think he's finished, but he can get Tottenham top 4. So all the teams that are desperate for that league position, he's good enough to get them the thing that they're desperate for. But he's not good enough. He's not good enough at a team, at a Barcelona level squad, a Man City level squad, a Liverpool level squad, a Real Madrid level squad, a Juventus. He's not capable at any of those clubs to win the major honours.
I hear what Specs is saying in the sense that he's saying.
I bet you do.
Nah. In the sense that obviously he can still do a certain thing, but he's not what he was.
Exactly.
So that's why he's washed.
Based on nothing.
What Mourinho being great was winning big trophies.
Yeah, but how
Mourinho getting top 4 isn't going to be a great season for Mourinho. You're not going to be able to use that as evidence why he's still the man.
I've heard you say this argument. I just want to know one thing. Like, for example, this is the reason why I understand fully where Tigo's coming from. Because when he gives me an example of something, he could quantify it with something that I could bring someone that doesn't even watch football and they'll make sense of it. I just want to know one thing, you know. What you're talking about, where is the example of where Mourinho has done it in real life where you lot go, he's going to do it? Because I can show you examples.
I didn't even understand that question, man.
Me and Tigo can show you different examples of success and why we back Jose Mourinho. You don't have any examples on him being shit at his job when it comes to achieving trophies. All you have is personality traits and relationship traits. and that's the reasons why you don't like him. So it makes me think you just don't like him personally, but at his job, he's good. So
I watched him do his job for 3 years, bro.
What?
You can't tell me nothing about watching him. I watched him do his job for 3 years. He was trash.
Right,
at
so
the end.
you watched him do his job.
He was
for 3
trash at the end.
Austin,
Ross,
right
look at
now.
Ross. Ross is here. He looks depressed.
No, you said the end. You said he was trash at the end.
3 years. 1 second.
No, because you that said to me, was he a success? Okay, he won a trophy.
15 minutes. I'll come back. 1 second. So you've watched him for 3 years and you wasn't happy with what you've seen. But I'm going to ask you something honestly now. Be real. When you look at all the gaffers that you've had, are you actually happy with any of them?
So what has that got to do with Mourinho being washed? What has that got to do with Mourinho being washed? Van Gaal won a trophy at United. He's still washed. Mourinho won a trophy at United. He's still washed. Ah, bro, because you're talking rubbish.
Wait,
you go round the point, but you never make the point.
They go round,
bro. Anyway,
for 1 second. Are you happy with any of the gaffers that have been?
It's got nothing to do with Mourinho.
Hold on, Specs. Hold on, Specs. Hold on, Specs.
You've got to see
Hold on, Specs.
They'll lose you. Adam, they'll lose you.
Specs, you would take him.
You do this too much.
Adam, are you happy with the performance of any of the gaffers? Any of them?
Am I happy with any of them?
Yeah.
For some things they did, yes.
No,
that's the facts, though. That's life, bro. For Van Gaal, I'm happy he won the FA Cup. I'm happy he signed some certain players. But that December in 2015 was fucking awful. And by the end of it, Van Gaal deserved to get sacked because it was shit. But I'm still happy with some of the things he did. Mourinho, I'm happy with the fact that he won 2 trophies and he did certain things. But by the end of it, he deserved to get sacked.
Look, mate, Adam, I was happy with my ex-girlfriend with some of the things she's done, but overall, it was a fucking disaster. I'm saying to you...
Exactly, and you're not with her now, and you wouldn't get back with her because she's done.
1 second. In general, are you happy with what Man United have done after Ferguson?
The best decision United made with Mourinho is getting rid of him.
Can you ask one question? Are you happy with Man United? Because you're not answering the questions. All you do is twist it, do some next stuff. I'm asking one question.
That sounds like you, bro.
That's you, bro.
Bro, are you happy with what's happened after Ferguson's done? After
The whole
Ferguson's gone?
7 years, no. The whole 7 years.
This is what I kind of feel from every Man United every Man United fan that I speak to. I just don't think you're happy with Man United. And until you get back to where you used to be, no one coming in will be good enough for you lot. So you use that as a way of saying, this is shit, this is terrible. And I think that's kind of washed because
that's rubbish.
He's actually probably your best manager since Ferguson's gone. And under the circumstances, your team only now looks like it has a future. Before that, every single team was shit. So for Mourinho to do what he done with that shit crop of players, I actually rate him, fam. I rate him highly. You cannot say that's an example to say why he's a shit manager. He's what? It's just not. If he was
still the manager he was, he'd still be there.
And he won.
Anyway,
shit,
I got a bounce here.
No trophy. I would agree.
Thank you, Adam.
T. Ross.
Thank you, Adam.
Rex, love you all. Catch you later.
Thank you, Adam, bro.
Only pissed off. Too late.
That's what I'm saying, poet. I never said. You see how you said shit manager?
Yeah.
I never said that.
What's that?
All right, now we're gonna move on. And we needed Adam for this. Your position on this, Specs, is so bipolar.
Don't try it. You see, this one I don't like here. You lot try to say I'm a hypocrite. When I explain it to you, you're like, okay, you can't do that.
No. We say okay. We say okay. No, we say okay because we let the crowd deal with it. We just let you say in front of the crowd, and then the crowd can assess your position. But you're on your own now, so we're gonna leave this.
Tigo. No, wait. Tigo and Poet. Let me just let you know now. Today, from my tie to your faces, you lot took a howler today. Believe you took a howler. Ask the crowd. You lot took a howler today. That's what I'm saying.
But this is what I've explained. If you're a Chelsea fan, he hurt them. If you're a United fan, he hurt them. If you're an Arsenal fan, he's hurt them for 15 years. If you're a Liverpool fan, he hurt them. So to me, the crowd can do what they want, but I know that ultimately what they're doing is they're using their emotions that they've built up after being destroyed by Jose Mourinho for 15 years, and they're projecting it to us, which is fine. I'm bipartisan. I don't like Mourinho's teams. I don't like his football. I'm just saying that the idea that he's washed is childish, and it's based on emotion, and it's based on actually shit that's not tangible, not realistic. Go on, Jordan.
Sorry, go on, Jordan.
We talk Specs. You know what? Yeah, I feel like you have a point right up till when you say you take, and then you nutmeg yourself.
Shall I tell you? So do you understand what I'm saying? That's the first thing. That's the first one.
I understand what you said. But I understand why you say what you're saying. You're saying he's not washed enough. He's just washed. He can't get you top level things.
My wash major trophies.
Okay. So he's too washed. So for you, all it is that he's just too washed for City and Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Jordy, when I look at Mourinho, yeah, for me, he should be in that level of Klopp and Guardiola.
Who is?
Mourinho.
Who is?
Huh?
Who are the managers in that with Guardiola and with Klopp?
Klopp, Guardiola, possibly. What, Simone? Simone won a few trophies, no?
One league.
I'll let you sit in that. I'll let you sit in that. Carry on. Who else?
Yeah.
Zidane.
Zidane. Yeah. Is Conte in there? Yeah, Conte's in there. No, he's won Serie A.
You tell me.
Ancelotti. Mourinho's in that category.
Ancelotti ain't gonna win a major trophy at Everton.
But he has. No. I'm talking about accolades in the past.
No. Who's there in that quality level now? Not in that legendary level. Who's in that quality level?
Ancelotti's in that quality level. It doesn't matter.
But he's never going to win a major trophy at Everton.
Nah, he's not. Now.
That's not what it means, Poet and Tigo.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what it means.
That's very interesting.
If you have won Champions League twice in a row or once, if you won majors a few years ago, for me you're world class, like Mourinho today.
Okay, all right. So stop. Who's in that top class right now? Stop talking about the past, because you can't on one hand say Jose Mourinho's finished and then say he's world class. Who is in that quality level right now that would win major trophies at a major club? Who are the managers given a major club that would win major trophies in the world right now?
You're saying he's world class, but he's washed.
No, when I say world, all right. This how I look at football.
Go on.
Tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen to Poet.
Yeah.
But yesterday, I know what happened. Right or wrong?
Bex, you're lying. Do you know why? You're good enough to watch enough football to know what could be great in the future. You're not rubbish. You actually are very smart. So don't do that. That's number one. Number two, can I ask you a question?
No, listen to what I'm saying.
I expect, what manager do you trust most? The manager that can win multiple trophies in multiple countries, or a manager that can do it in one country successfully?
I don't think that means anything.
Okay, honestly, who are the top managers in the world right now?
Right.
Wait, can I just
I wanna go.
Let me just point something out.
Big Paul.
Mad fan. I might say that meaning.
Point something out, Jordy.
You can't put on a suit and angry.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry.
Who are the top managers in the world right now?
So he asked me a question. I'm saying these are the world class managers today.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Ancelotti, Mourinho, Pep, Klopp.
I think we're gonna move on. This argument has no point.
You asked me. This is what I don't understand. You asked me a question.
Tigo,
you don't like the answer. Why did you ask me?
Tigo's
crowd.
No,
crowd.
Tigo, why
Help me out here. Help me out here. If Jose Mourinho is still in the same class as the top two managers, what is the conversation here?
Accolades, Tigo.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
With Adam, you and Poet for 3 hours talk about what he's won. But now when I talk about it, it's an issue. Specs,
listen to the question and answer it very, very carefully. Given the top teams in the world, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Man City, Liverpool, given control of those teams, which managers in the world today would win major trophies?
Would win. That's now you're asking me a different question. Would win.
Yeah.
Klopp.
It's not a different question, by the way, but carry on.
It is a different question.
Exact same question.
It's a different question. You said would win. And obviously now I've got to pick the managers. I've got to pick the managers now that are in the category of winning a major. That's what I've got to do. The question you asked.
Go on.
J. Paul.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put Klopp, Simone, Pep, Conte, Zidane, but Mourinho's not in there because he manages Tottenham.
Okay, but if Mourinho was manager of Barcelona, do you think he'd win La Liga?
No.
So wait, is Simeone in there? So Simeone is in there, but
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
What do you mean he's in there? What?
We're going to move on from this. This is going absolutely nowhere. It's going absolutely nowhere.
Your questions are terrible. Because your questions are terrible. Your questions are
in the media.
I asked you who the best managers in the world were. You said Ancelotti and Mourinho.
Well, no, you never asked. You asked me who are the world-class managers today. I gave you my world-class managers.
Okay, so make this make sense. Make this make sense.
Let me land. You can't tell me that Ancelotti and Mourinho are not world-class managers today.
I'm definitely not telling you that.
So what are you telling me?
What are you telling me? Would Ancelotti win the Champions League if he was manager of Barcelona?
Yes.
Okay, would he win it at Real Madrid?
Yes.
Would he win it at Manchester City?
Yes, possibility.
Would he win it at Liverpool?
Yes.
Okay, same question, Mourinho, all those clubs.
No. Because I think he's washed.
And the difference between him and Ancelotti is?
I think Mourinho tactically is done.
No, you don't. Because you said earlier in the stream that you don't think that.
No, he's tactically done.
You said earlier on this show, you said that he was not tactically done.
Why is he not tactically done?
You told me that.
Why would I say that? Why would I say that if I've been thinking for time?
No, you haven't. You
argue.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't.
You brought me.
Listen, let me just say this and stop here. I'm not talking about this anymore. You confuse me when you say you take a tactically done manager.
Oh,
shout out everyone in the comments right now. Hold on. No, he didn't ask you a question. He didn't. There was no question mark at the end. There was no question mark. Crowd, I just want you to know that while this is live, it is also available to watch again. Let me know in the comments, the actual comments, when at the second point at which you hear Specs say that he does not think Jose Mourinho is tactically finished. Remember, leave the time code for when he did not say that, because he did say that. He said that every time we've had this argument, he said that he doesn't believe Jose Mourinho.
So why do I think he's washed?
You tell me.
Jordy, this guy's having a howler. All I'm saying to you, Jordy, when I say tactically washed, that doesn't mean that Mourinho can't get top 4 with my club. Do you understand that?
But do you think he can get top 4 with your club?
Yes.
With your players, your club?
Yes.
All right,
tactically done that. Even though, again, and I'm lucky because this is all saved, guys. Everyone in the comments who's been hurt by Jose Mourinho is cool, because I'm gonna screen record the clip where Spec said that he doesn't believe Jose Mourinho is tactically finished, and then I'm gonna put it out there on Twitter. And you guys,
you need to work on. The thing is, you need to work on your argument techniques. It's like, you lot refuse to listen sometimes. No, seriously, you refuse.
Well, I listened when you said that he's not tactically finished.
You're too focused on arguing. If you listen, what I'm saying is, you said I'm a hypocrite, but you can't prove I'm a hypocrite.
You'll see later. When I put out the clip of you saying that you think Mourinho was not tactically finished.
When I said what's point, I said he's shit.
Okay, when I put out the clip later of you saying that you don't think he's tactically finished and you think he's tactically still a good manager, then you'll look like a hypocrite.
So this is where Tigo picks his parts and wants to just that's what I'm saying. It's forget. Let's move on anyway. Let's move on.
Right. Troy Deeney.
No. Samuel Eto'o.
Oh,
No. We are not comparing him. We are not comparing him to Thierry Henry. We are not. Samuel Eto'o said that none of them.
Hey, Skits, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put you in.
I can't hear half you lot, but I've been watching. Yeah, Specs. You've disappointed.
No.
I'm not gonna argue. Let him just talk.
Go on, say your piece, man.
Go on. Why am I wrong?
Tigo, why don't do that, Tigo?
All right, go on.
Bro, Tigo just killed you with 2 questions, bro. You just contradicted yourself again.
Tell me where?
Because today I've been watching the stream and you did say Mourinho was technically washed.
Oh, today? I said
just
today.
A minute ago.
You're taking my
Yes, and then just a minute ago you said you're taking.
I'm taking my Arsenal.
Yeah.
But he's
again, we're not doing this. We're done with this. We're done with this.
I'm not going to argue. I just want to hear what he's saying. I'm not going to argue. Go on.
He's saying what he's been saying for 5 days,
No,
bro.
Tigo,
There's
let me-
nothing.
See, I know. See, let me hear it. Go on.
No, bro, I'm just saying, bro, you stick to your point, bro. You
What
did
was
this
my
to me
point?
last week. You did this to me the other day. I
What?
came in here to back you and say Jose Mourinho's washed. He's technically done. And then now you said it twice that he's not tactically done, but I'll take him at Arsenal because he's good enough to get us into top 4. Is he done?
Again, we've had this
What
specific
side
argument between you
Is
and
he washed or
Specs
is he not
has been had, and
Because
it's
I don't know
terrible.
what you're doing.
Sorry, Tigo, 1 second. Miles, what means major trophy? Then you know.
Okay, cool. And we're done. And we're done.
Okay, cool.
And we're done. And we're
Major
done.
trophies.
Bex, last thing, yeah. Call
Major
me
trophies.
later.
Is that what you're going off?
Call
What?
me later. Me and you.
You're going off
Hey,
major trophies.
That's what my watch
We're
means.
done. We're done here. We're done here. We're done here. We're done.
That's
Yeah,
what my watch means.
Bex, call me later. Me and you.
Done.
Why are you changing what my watch means, guys? Come on, man.
It's right. It's all on record. We recorded everything. We've recorded all of this. It's all able to be watched and watched back.
Just call me later. Let's talk. Me and you, one-on-one.
Tigo killed you, bro. Tigo killed you, bro.
Okay, ad-libs. That's it.
All right.
Why is it- bro, he said, what is the difference between Ancelotti and Jose Mourinho? Tactically, what is the difference?
What do you mean, what is the difference? They're different
Bro,
managers.
you said that.
That's
But you said
different-
they're both
that's
world
different-
class.
that's a
You said they're both world class. You said that Ancelotti.
Mourinho's a
What is-
world-class manager.
But you said Ancelotti could win
Whoa.
all these major trophies with all
Yeah,
these
at a
different
big
clubs,
club.
but Mourinho can't.
Yeah.
Look, in a nutshell, he says he's
What's
a
the difference?
world-class manager that's washed up.
What's
Who
the
is
difference between
tactically
Jose
finished,
Mourinho
that
and
will
Ancelotti?
take him at Arsenal.
But
That's
he's
it.
not tactically finished, but he is.
And that's what he said. That's his argument.
So what is your argument, Miles?
And we're
Bro, is
moving
he
on.
washed or is he not washed, bro? Because you're
He's
moving the
washed,
goalpost.
Miles. Yes.
Bruv, you can't, bruv, you don't. But you can't say he's washed for top 4, but can't make top. But he's washed to get major trophies.
If Jose
That makes no
Mourinho
sense,
was
bro.
manager of
Just stick to
Barcelona,
one
they'd
point.
win the Champions
He's not
League.
good
But
enough.
let's move on. Let's move on.
It from day one.
Let's move on.
From
Okay,
last
Miles.
year,
Okay,
to be
Miles.
honest.
Okay,
It's
Miles.
not good
Miles.
enough.
Miles.
Stick
Okay.
to it, bro.
Okay.
You're
Okay,
moving
Miles.
left and right. What are you doing?
Miles. Okay.
Even Adam McCullough came in today and said, "Oh, Specs, I was tag teaming with you until you said that."
Miles, you see when I make a point, I don't care about who's there and around me. I make my point, bro.
But you're not making the point, though. You're not making a good
All
point.
you
That's the
talk about
thing.
is what people are agreeing and disagreeing.
But
What
if
is your
you're not
point?
making a good point.
What is your point, though? I'm
Jose
waiting.
Mourinho's not good enough. He's not good enough. He's washed. I don't think he's good enough. And when I say he's washed, I don't think he's tactically good enough to win the Premier League with any top club.
But can he finish top 4 with
That's
Arsenal?
what I'm sticking by that. I'm
No.
stuck by that. And
But can he finish top 4 with Arsenal?
Never.
Not with our players.
Oh wait,
Go on.
you
You're
mean he's,
shuffling, though. You're taking to get top 4.
you
But he's
mean
tactically washed.
you mean your
So that means he's
definition?
going to tactically outdo Chelsea,
I don't
Man
think you can hear
United,
me.
Leicester,
Yeah.
Spurs.
You can't.
He's going to tactically outdo all those teams and get our team, that's a struggling team, into top 4. We've had a howler.
So he's saying Mourinho's shit. So he's worse. He's worse, Jordi. He's
No, he
saying
is.
Mourinho's shit.
He is. But
Tigo,
I understand.
He's
Thing is,
saying Mourinho's shit.
I agree with you. I agree with
I don't
you.
believe he's good anymore. You're moving left and right. What are you doing?
So there's 3 different arguments now here, Miles.
Guys,
not
guys,
three
just so
different
you know, Miles, 1 second.
There's not
Just
three
so you know,
different
guys, at halftime tomorrow between Schalke and
I can't hear
Dortmund on BT Sport at halftime, Specs and Miles are going to have a debate one-on-one. No one else is going to be involved.
People
Specs
are-
asked for it. Specs asked for it. He called him out.
People, I've asked Miles for a debate. Watch Miles grab Tigo's belt the whole way through. Tigo,
I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved.
watch.
You can only watch that on Twitch, by the way. You can only watch that on Twitch. We're not doing YouTube tomorrow. We're only going to do that on Twitch. Dortmund versus Schalke, 2:30 p.m. on Twitch. We're going to be watching along, and then at halftime, Miles is going to be debating Specs. No one can get involved.
Help him.
One-on-one. No one's helping.
Oh shit.
Specs. Samuel Eto'o says that none of the other African players, or I think he might mean strikers, can come and say they were at his level. He said, it's a fact. It's something that is there. I wanted to be number 1 and have been throughout my career. Question. Is he better than Drogba? Drogba.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Do you know why I'm gonna say this, T? And I'm not gonna say this because I'll be real with you. The Eto'o Henry one, yeah.
No, I don't back down from that yet.
No, I know. I'm just saying that was tough, yeah. And you lot said some points, yeah. That was especially the elite talk, yeah. But we'll leave that. But
Filthy at 5, pre-recorded and edited, coming soon. Coming soon to the YouTube channel, guys. We recorded something special yesterday. It all came out in the wash. Omri versus Etu was settled. But go on. Etu Drogba.
Everyone, I'm texting Dan.
Yeah, let's see if we get Dan in this.
Etu, for me, had a longer run than Drogba.
Okay, longer run. Who was better?
That's not the question.
Who scared
That's
you
not
the
question.
most?
But you know what, those skits. I believe I'm not even a Chelsea lover, but I believe Drogba is better than Eto'o. And me and him's gonna have that's a debate tomorrow. Bring your facts tomorrow. Save it, Specs.
No, I want to have it now. No, I'm not saving it.
No. I can't have it now. I can't have it now. I'm on the train station.
Now, what's up? So
I'm at the train station. My train's coming.
That's social distancing. No one's near you. No one's near you. Social distancing. Let's have it now.
I don't care for social distancing. No, we're not having it now. Bro, like Jordy says, calm down. You're wearing a suit. You're meant to be a manager. Conduct yourself nicely. Be a grown man. Conduct yourself. Brush your hair. Have a drink. Thank you very much. We will have this debate tomorrow.
Okay, there we go.
And I will bury you as well.
Specs, do you accept that as a debate
I will
topic?
very easy with this.
Specs,
This is an easy one.
Specs,
yeah.
Specs, he's challenged you to a match.
Do you
We
accept?
will have this tomorrow.
Miles, all I'll say to you is do your homework. If you don't do your homework tomorrow,
Oh, my homework's going to be done.
I will ask for you to quit Filthy Fellas for good.
Wait, we need a forfeit.
Ooh.
We do.
Oh, yes.
But
I doubt we're going to get there because whenever we ask Specs to do a forfeit, he comes up with like he has to eat 11 spiders. And it's like some mad thing that's like no one's ever going to do.
Crowd.
Oh, yeah.
The crowds. Guys, in the comments below,
done.
so we can come back to it tomorrow. Not in the comments in the chat. In the comments below. In the comments below, let us know what the forfeit should be. Filthy Fellas tattoo, let me tell you guys, that ain't never going to happen. I don't know how to try and make people be realistic.
I'll get that tattoo.
But some kind of realism. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what the forfeit has to be.
Someone said I should someone get a tattoo.
Yeah.
You think you want me to leave my family? Talking about, bruv, man. You get a tattoo. You get a tattoo if I win. Because I'm winning.
I'm looking forward to this.
Twitch
live tomorrow. Halftime of the Dortmund versus Schalke game. We're doing a watch along. Halftime, Miles versus Specs, the debate.
Right, Tigo.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Hargreaves?
Let's talk about Owen Hargreaves.
BRB.
So Owen Hargreaves. Go on.
I found out, yeah. Alex Ferguson. Did you hear what he said about Hargreaves in his book?
No.
He said he's the worst signing he's ever made. The guy has no confidence in himself. And Carrick is the best English midfielder. He thinks Carrick is the best English player. And remember, he's coached Rooney.
Better than Scholes.
Again, so that's why I'm not going to use that to this argument because I feel like that's a manager's opinion. Even though he's respected, it doesn't mean I have to agree with everything Sir Alex says. But yeah, it's in his book. Secondly, Tia, that one, the player I wanted to bring to you was Gareth Barry.
Yeah.
At the time, there was, I don't know if you remember, Capello was the manager of England at the time, and there was talk about Hargreaves or Barry. And I thought about it, and I said to myself, you know what? As much as Hargreaves was good, and I was wrong for saying he was shit, because obviously I went for my personal preference.
Yeah.
I think Gareth Barry was better than him.
No. Not at his peak. Owen Hargreaves had so much. Gareth Barry's a good player. Good player. And he won the league at City, right? Good player. Yeah. Owen Hargreaves was an international class player.
He was.
That did not match his potential over a course of time. But if you were to say were there seasons, and definitely were there games where Hargreaves was world class, there definitely were. I don't think there's ever been a game where you'd say Gareth Barry's been world class today.
I
don't remember one.
It probably is.
Probably is. I don't remember one.
So, Jordy, who's better, Barry or Hargreaves?
Hargreaves. I think
even though Sir Alex said he's one of the worst signings he's ever made in his book.
So I'm just reading those quotes. I mean, I ultimately I respect Sir Alex Ferguson and everything, whatever.
I'm sure he doesn't say that because of his tech. I'm sure
it sounds personal, yeah.
Because of the return on investment. The guy was injury prone and then went to City.
He said that he didn't have nearly enough determination, always opted for the easy choice in training sessions. He said, when I signed him, there was something about him I didn't like. It turned out to be a disaster. Which
So
is, that's harsh.
Wait, when you say it turns out to be disaster, is he talking about performances or just the whole thing in general?
I don't think he played like 60 games, did he? For a player that cost that much money, I don't think he played enough games.
I think he had one full season. The rest he was injured, and then he went City.
So that's a failure of a signing, ultimately, isn't it?
Right.
It sounds personal.
All right. So Carrick now. So Ferguson also said Carrick's the best English player he's coached in the book.
Which is interesting again because he coached Beckham, Giggs, Scholes. But then are we talking about a manager who's basically saying, I liked
that's the thing
this guy and I didn't like this guy? I'm not saying we're definitely not.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I can't talk for Fergie, but it sounds like he likes the guy who listens.
Right.
Who takes the instructions on board and shit like that. Like his mentality to him.
I'm gonna get the price that they paid for Owen Hargreaves here.
Fergie sounded
I feel like
it was 17 million apparently, which would have been a lot back then. Yeah. Do you know how many games he played for Manchester United?
How many in total?
39 in 4 years.
Season.
In 4 years.
That's a disaster of a signing.
I remember he had a full season and then he went missing, and it was just them knees. Them knees fucked him.
23 games in the league in his first, 34 games together in his first season, 3 in his next, 1 in his next, 1 in his next.
I watched England versus Portugal. I think it was the Euros at the time?
06.
06 or 08, T?
No, it wouldn't have been 08, no.
No,
it could have been 08. Sorry, it would have been 08. Yeah.
Capello.
So 2006, he is when he came in with Sven, and people gave him criticism, but he was allegedly, according to Joe Walker, who's the reason we brought him on here today, was apparently England's best player in that tournament.
Bruv, I was going to say this to you. I watched, obviously, yesterday I said the guy's shit. I didn't like him them times. Yeah, I didn't like him, yeah? I watched him yesterday against Portugal. Portugal, I think, won on pens. Hargreaves bossed that game. And I give it to him.
He was class.
Once again, I think I've seen Carrick.
06. It was 06. Yeah. 08. They never made it. Yeah. It's true.
06. Yeah. 06. I see Carrick. I think I've seen Carrick too many times boss games. And Hargreaves obviously didn't, fulfill his potential because of injury. But surely we shouldn't be. We can't be saying Carrick.
What do you
surely,
mean?
maybe. Do you know what I mean?
Hargreaves. You mean?
No, because you're saying Hargreaves over Carrick, right? T.
I'm saying the 2007-2008 season, which was coincidentally the only season Hargreaves played as a first team player at Manchester United, 34 games. I'd struggle to say Carrick was better than Hargreaves 07-08, which was the whole thing was about comparing the 07-08 team to the 1920 team, Liverpool. And to me, Hargreaves is world class in 07-08.
So basically we've got to find a season where Carrick had that impact Hargreaves had, and we can compare basically.
Yeah, and ultimately, look, Carrick's better because he had a career, and he was first team from West Ham to Tottenham to Manchester United.
He was a better footballer, Carrick. Footballer. Come on, T. Come on, man, T. To say Hargreaves is a better footballer than Carrick, now we're getting a bit too far.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
I'm with Carrick.
Football brain, like just understanding the game better. Reading, anticipating, whatever, just football, T. You know what I mean? You know what we mean by football, kicking ball.
I don't think I do know what you mean.
Decision making, T. Decision making.
Hargreaves is a great decision maker.
And Carrick's
a great decision maker.
Who was better?
I'm saying that 07-08. I'm saying it in 07-08. It's not that you couldn't tell me that there's a definite, and that is Hargreaves at his best to me. 07-08. And if there is a season where Carrick was as good and as effective as Owen Hargreaves was in 07-08. I can't think of it. He was good his whole career. He was better than good a lot of his career. I'm just saying that Owen Hargreaves 07-08 was, when you talk about the team that won the Champions League, that won the Premier League, he was much more important to winning those trophies than Michael Carrick ever has been for Manchester United winning trophies. Carrick was more replaceable in his time at Manchester United when they were good than Hargreaves was in 07-08.
I don't know. That's a big statement you're saying there. That's a big statement, boy.
Scholes had to come back.
Yeah, but Carrick is
So
just
what?
Scholes in a different position than Carrick.
So
I'm saying, what are we talking about when you're talking about the footballing brain, those key passes, all of that? They needed to bring that into the game. They need to bring that back in. Carrick wasn't providing it enough.
no, what if Fergie said Carrick needs goals? What if Carrick had no one?
I don't think Hargreaves ever needed anybody.
Yeah, because they were different type of players, of course, right?
Of course.
But the better footballer was Carrick.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean because his game was all in front of him.
Yeah.
Whereas Hargreaves played in a 360-degree game. He had to pull left, take the ball off players. Pull right, take the ball off players. He had to play in between space. He had to rotate the ball. He had to recycle possession. But he also would get beyond the midfield. He would transcend lines. He would also pull wide into the far right positions. He crossed. He took players on. I'm saying Carrick, I know what you mean, because what Carrick does is like he controls the game from the passing. He receives the ball. The game opens up. Everything. But there's a different... Hargreaves is a different kind of player.
Yes.
Because Hargreaves can pick up the ball, turn, he could be under pressure, he'll find that bit of space. The technical passing was not lacking. He wasn't like a Torreira or someone who has to have like the perfect space on the ball to make that pass move. He had a range of passing on across his feet, right? You know, like someone like Granit Xhaka, who once he's got a bit of space, you know exactly which part of the boot he's going to kick the ball with. Hargreaves was more technical than that. He could kick the ball with but he didn't have that final ball. That wasn't his game. So when you say better footballer, I get it, because Carrick sees that way.
So I'll give you this then. I'll give you this. Carrick was better on the ball. Hargreaves was better off.
I mean, you could give me that, but I don't know if that's necessarily true.
On the ball, I think on the ball, Carrick, it's long for a lot of people. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I think off the ball is sick too.
Yeah, but on the when you say on the ball, do you mean passing or do you mean on the ball?
Receiving, passing,
receiving and passing.
Body language.
Not taking players on, not getting out of space.
That wasn't his game. That wasn't his game. He was for me. He's not like on this level, but it was not far from like Busquets kind of style.
Who was the player you had to argue against him?
Back in the day?
It was Fabinho eventually.
You said yesterday you're bringing a player.
Oh, I bought Gareth Barry because
okay.
Yeah, the reason why I bought Gareth Barry because that was the argument then.
I think Hargreaves is a level above Gareth Barry.
And Gareth Barry was very good that year for Aston Villa, by the way, guys.
He was. Gareth Barry was a very good player. Very good player. Remember, he started left back. And then went centre back. And then went midfield.
Right. Listen, let me take this elsewhere, yeah? Hargreaves came to England, had that season, and then died.
Yeah, it was finished.
Carrick?
Is that because... Like, remember we heard with Torres that when he had his medical, Liverpool said, I don't know how he passed that because he was dead.
Yeah.
He was like a horse. Do you think that's what happened with Hargreaves?
So I'm looking at... If you look at Hargreaves' career, the year before he went Man United, he only played 17 games for Bayern, 9 in the league. And then the year before that, he played 16 in the league, 24 altogether. The year before that, he plays 27 in the league, 38 altogether. So if you actually look, it looks like Man United signed an injured player.
No, that's not. Well, it could be that, or it could be a better player just came on top.
Or what, at Bayern?
Yeah.
I don't know, because Man United were... 17 million pounds was a lot of money to spend on a player that only played 9 league games. I don't think it's because he wasn't getting in the squad. Because there's no sub. We're not talking about sub appearances here either. Like the sub appearances are available. This is 9 games total. There's a chance that there's a better player was signed ahead of him. I don't think that's not how I remember it.
I'm with you, Tigo. They're so different. they're so different that it's hard to.
Which is, and I said that, and like I said, I never thought this was like a big debate. My only thing was, if we're talking about 07-08 and we're comparing it to the Liverpool team.
Yeah, in hindsight, Hargreaves over Carrick, but Flamini over both.
Yeah, and then there was that question, which wasn't, people weren't allowing that either, because Carrick beat Fabinho in that debate, and I think that's a bit mad. 07-08 Carrick beats 1920 Fabinho. I don't get that.
I said Fabinho. That was insane.
I love Carrick. I just love Carrick, man.
Yeah, but I love Carrick too, but we were doing season for season.
Yeah,
which is what everyone just lost in that moment there.
It's hard, isn't it? Because Fabinho wins it now because I remember more of him.
But like I said, my memory of 07-08 was that Hargreaves was better than Carrick.
Carrick's style of football them days, no one cared about it, but it was so important, but no one cared.
Yeah, but I think Owen Hargreaves was the thing that made Manchester United, like that basin in that midfield that Hargreaves, that role where he swung left and right. And like I say, if a one midfielder dropped in, he had the ability to drift beyond him. He could go wide. He could pull him into all the different spaces in the midfield. That job, to me, you couldn't have had Carrick do that and Man United win the Champions League.
Carrick was not like Makaleli. Come on, man.
Someone says that Makaleli. Yeah. Oh my God. Guys, you got to do better than that. Carrick was like Makaleli.
No way. The crowd, you have to learn. Don't worry, man.
But you know what I mean, though? Like the job Hargreaves did in 07-08, Manchester United, Scholes couldn't have done that. Fletcher couldn't have done that. Carrick couldn't have done that. That job, which is ultimately the job he did in a year that they won the Premier League and they won the Champions League, which is probably, to me, Man United's best ever team. Only one person could have done that job, and it was Owen Hargreaves.
And again, listen, this is a little asterisk too. Fabinho is probably not as technically as good as Rick, but in that system, he had a better season that year.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's complicated what we're talking about because a lot of people won't hear that. People won't hear that. Like Fabinho in this Liverpool team, in terms of a quality season, in terms of the impact towards Liverpool winning the league, it's hard to measure how important that guy was. Mitch says Fletcher was Hargreaves before Hargreaves. Fletcher was Hargreaves after Hargreaves. Jamie Ahmed says Anderson's better than Fabinho. I mean, you have a nap, drink some milk.
You have a nap, drink milk, you know.
What? Mohammed Yusuf, stop spamming. He says, Tigo, what job did he do, though? Please explain. He was the transition player between the defense and the midfield.
Very good.
He was Rio Ferdinand's like player on a leash. He was the rotating point for that midfield. He was the basin for the midfield. And a lot of teams have DMs and basin midfielders who can't rotate the ball with that level of quality and have that mobility. Owen Hargreaves had both of those. And he would cover in at fullback because he played fullback in his career. Owen Hargreaves is one of the great utility players, but he also had a great technical ability and a reading of the game that, like, you're talking about a guy like, we could talk about Abu Diaby and loads of players who lost their careers to injury. When you talk about Owen Hargreaves, you talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first team seasons in his career. 5 seasons where he played 20 games or more. 5.
It's true, man. This is like comparing Gattuso and De Rossi.
I mean, he's better than Gattuso, though. But he's better than Gattuso. Way better than Gattuso.
They can play together. Do you get what I'm saying?
He's like De Rossi. De Rossi's got quality because, again, De Rossi could pass and he could do the dirty work. But ultimately, his powers are in that recycling of the ball. It kept Manchester United moving.
De Rossi's a fucking boss.
They could have Evra bomb forward because they knew they had this pivot who was just going to come in and swing in at left back. They were never doubled up because they had this guy and he had a mad engine and he could get forward, he could get back, but he saw the game in 360 degrees. 2007, 2008. Hargreaves didn't even start 2007, 2008 to go, how do you have a better season? Yes, he did. And the games that he played, he was crucial. And he played 34 games in 2007, 2008. And stop spamming, please. I can't make a point and delete people at the same time. Please stop spamming. My point was not that he is better than Michael Carrick, because I actually never said that. I also never said that Fabinho was better than either of them. My point was, this is not just a clean sweep. Hargreaves, Carrick, there's no conversation. Because to me, Hargreaves in 2007, 2008 was a monster. And he was crucial. And Manchester United don't win the Champions League without him.
People keep mentioning Diaby and Hargreaves. And I'm just like, I think they're too different, man.
Yeah, but their injuries, I guess, are similar.
Yeah, but their game is hard. Because I don't think that Diaby was ever that deep, man.
No, he could have played deep though. Look, Diaby played up front against Fenerbahce. Diaby can play again, similar in the sense that they can play. Like Diaby can play on the wing. I saw him play on the wing against Blackpool. I want to say I saw him play up front against Fenerbahce. I saw him play DM against Manchester United. Like Diaby can play just about anywhere.
I just see Hargreaves as a DM, and we just need to get DMs around him to compare. I mean, if we are going to compare.
Yeah, which is then becomes Fabinho versus Hargreaves.
Well, are you going to tell them who called you? Or just say that someone called you?
Oh, yeah, Specs, do you want to drop this piece of information to these people who think that I'm having a howler allegedly?
Oh, yeah, no.
Not only that, someone spoke to Poet too.
Yeah.
So this one again, like this one, I don't. It's not the Etu Henry argument thing. This is more like I have my preference. T guys, his point, but what Tigo's saying is what football players are saying. And to be honest, I don't think the crowd remember Hargreaves, so that's why I don't mind it. But the guy was, a proper player, and when he was fit, he had to play. And that's facts. But the way I play football and the way I like football, when I watch Carrick, for me, that's what I prefer.
But the thing is, I would compare Hargreaves a little bit to Jack Wilshere, not because Jack Wilshere had a different range of like body tricks or whatever, but in terms of the way that he with the standing tackle, he would turn out of trouble, and like I say, his distribution was quite strong, different ranges. He had a good short, medium, long pass. He was quite similar to Jack Wilshere in that way.
But Tigo, my only problem with that is I never saw Jack Wilshere sit in front of a back four. So that's the back four there.
Yeah.
Right in front of him. And just sweep up here.
No.
Pick up the ball anywhere here, but by himself.
No, I agree.
Tackling in strength and drive. So you know what I mean? I never saw that from Wilshere.
I do think tactically Wilshere could have done that. I think he ultimately would have.
Actually, you know what?
It would have been too physical for him because of the injuries he had. But I do think he could have done that tactically.
But Roy Hodgson played him deep, actually. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He was the guy. They tried to make him into like an English Pirlo, right?
Yeah.
And he did it.
Because ultimately that is his game, but physically he would just get injured because he can't go into too many 50-50s in a game. His body just wasn't built for it.
That is the game. Like when Wilshere's on the other side of you, you just clatter him. That's it.
Boys, sorry guys, I can't name drop, man, because he's in here, of course.
Yeah, let's just say a player that played with both of those players. A player that played with both of those players. Let Specs know that Hargreaves was not a joke. Hargreaves was a special player. And the player that played with both of them also said the same to Poet. So we're not going to name drop. But yeah, again, I'll go back about 20 minutes where I was saying, Tigo's having another howler. Have some milk. Just drink some milk. League 2's done.
Good. I'm joking. That's not good. Yeah.
League 2's done. They're going to use points per game. It still has to be ratified by the EFL and the FA. But Peterborough are promoted. Oxford, no, I'm not talking about. That's not true. Swindon are promoted. Crewe are promoted, and Plymouth are promoted. The playoffs will carry on as normal. League 1 are not going to call it a day yet because Peterborough, Oxford, Sunderland, Fleetwood, Portsmouth, and Ipswich released a joint statement saying they had no desire for voiding the season. The statement said they have no desire for voiding the season, points per game scenarios, or letting a computer decide our footballing fate, which I like. That's so old school.
Some of them will regret that.
Sunderland.
Some of them. I'm not going to say who.
Sunderland. But basically, League 2 said that it would cost £140,000 to do the requisite tests to finish the season, and they just got nowhere near that money.
140 grand.
Yeah.
Evo.
Was that?
Paul
Paul Stevo. Yeah. Harry Kane has taken sponsorship on the Leyton Orient shirts.
What's on the shirts?
I think it's like a message to the NHS or something.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it says thank you, Frontline.
But they're League Two, innit?
They are, I believe.
That is an L.
What's an L?
That's Bram, you just take shit and avoid the league.
I think it's for next season.
Okay.
Where are they in League Two? Actually, that's a good question.
But that's 17th. A good gesture. That's a good gesture. He's from them ends, isn't it?
Yeah, they gave him his professional debut. He was on loan there as a kid.
Okay. Man like H.
Yeah, I do rate that. Do you see the stuff about these NFL players, Specs?
No, I'll never see it. Anywhere where there's line of scrimmage, I don't want to know nothing about you. But go on.
Well, actually, there's two NFL stories. I think you like. There's one about a player called Sammy Watkins.
What about Julius Aguilar?
Aguilar? No, he's not been working or speaking. Anyway, Sammy Watkins says dreams are not merely dreams. Words can cast spells. He's been talking about how he believes in aliens, and he believes in superpowers, and he believes in spells. Sammy Watkins. He plays for the Chiefs. Just won a Super Bowl.
Black.
Very fast. He is indeed. Yes.
Sammy, let me put in my notes. Sammy Watkins.
Watkins, yeah.
By the way, I like NFL now. If you're telling me this,
yeah, he's very similar to you. Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp was asked what he's learned from lockdown.
Oh, God.
He said, "I didn't learn a lot in lockdown, other than Gary Neville has an opinion about absolutely everything. It's incredible."
He's allowed to.
That's true.
Somebody needs to have an opinion about everything.
Did I see Tevez's agent or something got onto Gary Neville?
So Gary Neville came out and said that he wasn't happy with Carlos Tevez in his last couple of years at the club, and he said that he downed tools, he wasn't putting in effort, and people were in his ear. Kia Joorabchian, his agent, came on the football show on Sky Sports and went head to head with him. He read a statement saying Gary Neville in Carlos Tevez's first year played 0 games. In Carlos Tevez's second year, Carlos Tevez was selected 55 times. Gary Neville's on the ropes, but Gary Neville had his own numbers, and surprise, surprise, Kia was chatting shit.
Well, I'll tell you what. You're gone.
The common perception is, and it's not common and it's not clear, but this is what I gather. Footballers, look at Neville as fam. You never had this chat back in the day. You never did. Roy
Keane definitely looks at him that way.
You know what? You see people like that, I love, because that's what I used to be. You see, when there was beef and it's going off for your bedrooms, your heart's beating fast, you're thinking shit, but you run.
Mm-hmm.
I used to run behind everyone's back, right? When the fight used to kick off and everyone's scattered and everyone gets back together, I used to rip my own shirt and come back and meet them. And then I used to run my mouth. You know what I mean? Watch. It's cool. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can do that. Gary Neville was in his own space thinking, Tevez can't get to me. Remember, Tevez is the guy that punched players at Corinthians, Tevez can't get to me. Let me run my mouth. I think running your mouth from a distance That should
Nah,
be.
I disagree. Because we're running our mouth about a lot of stuff on this show, and a footballer can't chat to me. I think we put too much credit on the fact that a player's an ex-player. When a player like, oh, he's an ex-player, he can't say this. Well, who the fuck can? If Gary Neville's won everything in the game, granted, he was a bit of a pussy when he played. Granted, he was up, David Beckham's ass, whatever. But if he's right, what stops him from saying stuff? Oh, you didn't say that at the time, so
I'm not indicting him for it. He's getting paid to say all these things. Say it. I'm not indicting him for it. I'm just saying, as an ex-footballer that was probably with him and saw him be Wasio, it would piss me off today.
I don't want to see Gary Neville be doing Miles. You know what I mean? Imagine Miles talking about Tigo 10 years from now on flipping ESPN.
If he's right, though, if what he says about me is right, he can do it.
Oh, Tigo's bum line is this long. I don't want to hear all that stuff. I want to hear you slay. That's what I'm saying to you. We've got to run. Running the mouth is. I love the war. I love it. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. Which is why I like Gary Neville, because now he's just firing darts all over the place. Because he didn't just sit there and go on, Kia, say your bit. Kia was reading a script. Gary Neville was like, look, he played this many games, he scored this many goals that year. Okay, he was selected this many times. He didn't come off the bench. What are you talking about selected?
Tigo, Miles said, Spec, this is why I rang you. You didn't talk on the phone.
Oh, man.
Listen, people tell me Specs. Because I run my mouth to like people you're not even meant to be running your mouth to. But they get it, they're cool with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll run my mouth, but at the same time, there's a few of these football players that I'm willing to go 101, no holds bar. Like anywhere. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't mind. So yeah, but at the end of the day, as long as you can sometimes back it, you'll be all right, man. Back it sometimes and run sometimes. That's the way I look at it.
I think it's funny because you talk about Poet, right? Well, you didn't talk about Poet. I'll talk about Poet. When he talks about music artists and they don't like what he says, they try and press him so hard so that he won't say bad stuff about them ever again. But he's always gone, do you know what? I don't rate that. If anything, that's going to make me go harder. I think with someone like Gary Neville, Gary Neville speaking truth to power, granted, there's not much power from Carlos Tevez, but if he's speaking truth to power and the agent's going to come out and go, let me crush this, that's a bad sign. We need people to chat shit. If the shit is true, we need people to chat shit. I don't care if you don't like it.
Oh, there is no Tingo. Oh, don't forget, there needs to be at least 9% truth in anything that you're shouting.
Yeah.
So if Gary Neville's coming out and saying something about Tevez or whatever, surely he's got proof or stats to back it. You're not saying the agent came back with stats that don't exist? No, that's hard.
No, there was selective stats. He was like, oh, Carlos Tevez was selected this many times, but he didn't play that many times.
That's a howler. That's what we call a howler.
Language.
That's what a howler is.
It's definitely a howler.
I love that word. See, now it's becoming normal now.
Yeah. When you guys see the studio version of Filthy at 5, you're gonna see some.
Yeah, you set me up. You didn't tell me. You set me up. You didn't tell me what we were doing.
Some howlers.
He said, Specs, we have to have a meeting about work. I said, yeah, no worries. I came there. All of a sudden, I see Geordie combing his hair. Skits is running around. And Poet was en route. I said to myself, what's going on here? I got set up yesterday, but it's cool. I'll come back.
Listen, I don't think it needed to go that way.
It didn't.
You just went on the defensive.
Again, listen. Again, I don't want to go into it because I don't want to give it away. But when I came home and I sat and I looked at the wall. Me and the wall was looking at each other. This wall here, look, this one here too. We were looking at each other for time. I said to myself, Specs, you can't win this because the guy you're using has more to his game. It's long.
You're beefing Vince McMahon.
But there's something what in my spirit was telling me there's a point there still.
That's what Stone Cold for.
Courtney rang me. Do you know how that made me feel? When Courtney rings me, he always tells me I'm having a howler. He rang me and says, Specs, I'm with you. Scribs as well. But obviously,
Scribs told you. Scribs said, "Don't listen to me. I'm biased."
Scribs don't count. Courtney, I'll take.
Let me know what Courtney says after this episode drops.
oh boys, I got for Tentished. I got planned for Tentished. This is a guy that works with the MI5. I got for Tentished, bro.
What does that mean?
For Tentished, I mean you lot planned. You know, FBI style. You set me up. Judy's combing his hair like everything is good. Then blow.
You guys are gonna see. You guys are gonna see when this drops. Specs tried to do something. I don't know what he tried to do. It was nothing to do with what we were doing.
Oh,
he tried
one more
to bring something to the table and just got absolutely killed.
After today, Skits, you're dead. Skits is dead anyway. I remember something. By the way, Monday, Skits is dead.
Yeah, okay.
We bought a steel chair to a singles match, then said we can't use chairs. That's exactly what you did.
I threw the chair in the ring, but the referee threw it back out. This is not allowed.
These guys have seen a clip from it already, guys. We recorded it yesterday. These guys have already seen a clip, and yeah, it's very.
Tigo, let's fling it up, man.
I need to get there's something I need to do to it before we can do that.
Fuck you, Jordy. Tigo, I had a dream. I also had a dream. Yeah, I swung for someone on Filthy. So if that happens, my dreams always come true.
No, honestly, we've been getting close to that lately.
Just dodge me. But I'm gonna swing for someone.
We've been getting close to that lately. Because I was gonna, if it wasn't for social distancing, I would have swung Skits yesterday.
That's another thing. That's another thing. We filmed a few things yesterday, guys. We're using this COVID now to do a bit more for the channel. It's going to provoke a lot of outrage. You guys are going to get pissed.
Tigo, do you remember I bought my daughter when we filmed Massive L years ago?
Yeah.
And every 5 minutes I have to go outside to check on her.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Felt something like that. All right, we're at 3 hours. We're going to be back tomorrow for the Schalke.
Hey.
What? Mileage.
Oh, wow.
Beckford. He's ringing you.
I'm calling.
He's ringing.
Call him now.
Call him now. Pretend we're not live. Watch this. Pretend we're not live.
No, I can't do that. That's nasty.
Oh, come on. Crowd. Shh. Crowd, don't say a word.
He's not gonna. It's done.
All right, guys. Tomorrow on Twitch only. We're going to be on Twitch only. Twitch.com/FilthyFellas. We're not doing enough over on that channel to build that audience, and there's people in there watching right now that need some respect.
Listen,
so yeah, Twitch.
Everybody at Dan and say update.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. Dan had a howler. He did his knee.
Oh yeah, shit.
He did his knee, so he's not in his studio. He's at home.
Yes.
So he hasn't been able to jump on because he jumps on from his studio because he's allowed single person access to his studio. So Bossman update is going to have to wait. Specs' hair situation is going to have to wait because unfortunately COVID has affected that. Schalke versus Dortmund. Dortmund versus Schalke even is at 2:30 p.m. UK time tomorrow. We're going to jump on around then, maybe 5 minutes before. We're going to watch the game together. Just checking if my TV's still there. And Specs is going to debate Miles. So twitch.com/FilthyFellas.